3, 2, 1. And we are live, and of course late as well. Alright guys, welcome back to the live stream. Apologies, it took a while. I needed to connect my phone as a hotspot. Unfortunately, I still don't have internet within this flat. We are getting set up slowly but surely. I just moved in fresh here, and therefore everything needs to get adjusted first. But that being said, as you can see in the background here, or not see rather, the green screen is back. Yay! Yes, finally the green screen is back. I recorded some videos as well with the green screen already, and it should have been a surprise in those videos. And for the people that don't watch the live streams, for them it certainly will be. But the rest is getting spoiled over here. Yes, the green screen is back. I personally am pretty happy with the look. The lighting, as always, there are some difficulties, but it's better than it used to be. For people that watched my live streams last year, for example, it already looks a bit more professional, if you will. So I'm happy with this. Let me know as well in the chat what you think. Do you like this better? Do you like the boxed version better? Let me know in the comment section and in the chat. That being said, guys, as every Sunday now, we make it a tradition. We're going to make this a Q&A. And ask whatever you will, whatever you want to ask. Again, as always, I have to say this too, Super Chats and Streamlabs donations will be prioritized. Last week, if you watched, for example, I basically was just answering Super Chats and Streamlabs donations, not because I'm a greedy man here, but because this is the best way to support this channel. Of course, we need your support. Especially when you are in my position and YouTube shadow bans and deletes videos and demonetizes videos, etc, etc. But moreover, I cannot possibly go through the chat and answer every single question, not with that many viewers, and therefore Super Chats and Streamlabs donations will of course be prioritized.
Let's create a bright green future where we all feel compassion.
From dusk until spawn. Got the memo. Thank you so much for the support, brother. I truly appreciate it. From Dusk Until Spawn is always here supporting. So thank you so much. And donated $2 via Super Chat. Thank you. I saw as well, I believe that we got a offline donation. I'm pretty sure. Let me just open up my secondary window here. The secondary window. Just 1 second, guys. Should be up and running in a minute. Let me just check this so I don't miss any of your chats. So we keep the overview.
Let's create a bright green future where we all feel compassion.
And let me tone down the sound a bit. It's definitely too loud. Here we go. We had that issue last week as well. It was so loud. And Boomer Bobby didn't understand that he can slow down and tone down the volume of the Super Chats, but now everything works. On that note, guys, something a bit off topic. It's not on that note, but I'm pretty convinced that I have I can't say it here, otherwise this will be taken down, Kurats virus. Because I feel, again, under the weather. This is absolutely unbelievable. I know that people that followed my channel and still follow, they know that I've been getting sick. I mean, since the situation is occurring every month or so. So every 2 weeks recently as well. And yeah, I really believe that it comes down to Jiu-Jitsu rolling with people that took the... You know what I'm saying? And because of that, I really feel that every single time I go to Jiu-Jitsu, as somebody that hasn't been inoculated, I just get sick. It's really strange. It's very weird. This time, I don't have a runny nose. It's just that my taste is gone. And I have a headache, and I feel overall fatigue. So it's very strange, man. Nothing major, but it's the same flavor yet again. Very annoying. So I think I should just retire and sit in my office and do videos. No sport for me, I'm gonna get fat now. I think that would be
Let's create a bright green future where we all feel
Here we are,
compassion.
finally. Okay, I pulled it up. Here we are. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm just getting adjusted here with the chat and with the chat windows. And
Let's create a
up
bright
and rolling.
green future where we all feel compassion.
Okay, tone down the volume one more time, like this. Should be fine. Okay, now we had a $15 offline donation, or rather at the start of the stream, and I wasn't here. So $15 by Doris from Denmark. Thank you very much, Doris. Thank you very much, Doris. I appreciate the donation via Streamlabs. Thank you so much. Guys, Streamlabs doesn't take a cut of your donation. So if you can donate via Streamlabs, it's definitely preferred. It's definitely better for the channel here, because YouTube decides to take 30% of your donations and put them in their own pocket. So if you want to donate via Streamlabs, it's even better for us. Okay, thank you very much, Doris. That's my son. He tries to kick in the door. He's just 1.5 years. Actually, today, he's 1.5 years old, but very strong. Okay, now, Hammer Nail. Thank you very much for the $2 Australian, brother. Good to see you again. Favorite song? That's a good question. I don't have a favorite song. Very, very hard to say. I don't really have a favorite song. I don't really listen to music. People think that because I asked the question why music is haram, I am a huge music fan and I can't live without my music. I'm simply listening to so much beautiful music. That's not the case. I don't really care that much for music. Actually, very interesting. I had a talk with a friend of mine yesterday. Thank you guys, thank you guys. I'm gonna read it out in a second. Had a talk with a very good friend of mine, and he is not a religious person at all. So I wouldn't declare him as an atheist in that sense. Neither I would say that he believes more in the universe, different realities, call it what you will. But the point of the story is that even him, out of nowhere, out of a sudden, he said that he's not really into music anymore. And that's quite fascinating to me personally, because he plays the guitar. And he was a huge music fan. But turns out that he realized for himself that music gets you out of the present moment. So, and that every time he listens to music, it brings him into the past or into the future or into some sort of emotion that distorts reality. And that's what he realized. And I have that too. That's why I don't listen too much to music. But let's say when I drive the car, sure, I will listen to a track. When I'm in the gym, music is playing anyways, but I don't wear headphones necessarily. But yeah, music is very powerful and can be absolutely abused. I saw that as a teenager, that's for sure. How rap music brought me in such a destructive mindset. Absolutely unbelievable. I thought I'm so anti-establishment, so counter-culture, but ultimately just brought me into drugs and into criminal behavior. Because those songs, they become reality. It's really the case. So it's quite fascinating subject. But anyways, as I said, a friend of mine, he simply realized that for himself, without reading any religious scripture, without looking into Christianity, Islam, or whatnot, he simply understood for himself that it truly gets him out of reality. And that music is an ultimate illusion. Very, very interesting stuff. But anyways, your question, what's my favorite song? I really don't have a favorite song. I have periods where I listen to something and it really can be the same song that I just hear over and over and over again. Half a year ago or so, I was listening to Donny Benet, which is an Australian act, I would say, because he kind of puts on a persona. It's kind of ironical, but at the same time, very synthwave, 80s, that type of thing. As you heard my intro music, I am into music that is 80s oriented. So yeah, I was listening to his music for a while and then I just stopped listening to music again altogether. I always have periods where I listen to the same music for a while and then I stop again. So I really don't have any favorite song. I always enjoyed the soundtracks that you would find in movies such as Pulp Fiction or Scarface, Push It to the Limit, 80s synthwave music, electronic music, good techno as well. But even there, now looking at it, I can say, of course, good techno music, quote unquote, brought me into very destructive behavior, party scene, etc., etc. So it's extremely tricky and a very fine line to walk. So to wrap it up, I don't have a favorite song. I have periods in my life where I listen to certain music for a while. Lately it has been a little bit Balkan music again. I'm a bit nostalgic because I'm not on the Balkan anymore. Anyways, thank you very much, Hammernail, bro. Appreciate it. We have super chats. Let me just double check here because the super chats are not displayed on Streamlabs. Let me see. Here we go. They're not displayed in my chat here either. That's fantastic. And Dr. Zakir Naik, I see in the chat. Yeah, I will react to Dr. Zakir Naik. Next week I should upload 2 more videos with Dr. Zakir Naik. Let me see. Yeah, unfortunately I cannot display the super chats here. Oh, that's fine. Okay, here we have it. Fantastic. EZG King donated $5 through Super Chat. Thank you very much, EZG King. Falkenfile, good to see you, bro. Dankeschön, donated €5. Thank you very much, bro. Adis donated $5. Thank you very much, Adis. Guys, and every single time you donate, please make sure to attach a question, because that's what it's really for. If you donate via Super Chat or Streamlabs, I can actually read out your questions. That's the whole point of it. And if you don't, if you just type in the chat, then as I said, I can't really read those questions. But via Super Chat, you should definitely, attach a question. I'm thankful either way. Thank you very much for the support. But don't forget to attach a question so you get it answered. Okay. Is the microphone alright? I see it kind of pitches a bit. It's a bit hot. Let me know if it is alright in the chat. Okay. Hammernail donated again $2. Thank you very much, Hammernail. Tips on fixing sleep. I sleep at 5 AM at the moment. Okay, so I, thank God, don't have really issues sleeping. To point out the obvious, first and foremost, don't be on your phone. Very simple advice, but very powerful. Most people, they simply end up on their phones and then they stay up late. So it happened to me before as well. Don't even go to bed with your phone. That would be my advice. Just leave it away. So if you need to go to bed at 11, for example, 11 PM, then put your phone away at 10. Read a book. There's nothing better than that. Just read a book at 10, start reading. You're going to be super sleepy at 11 and you're highly likely to fall asleep. If that doesn't work, then you have to experiment with food as well. So some people react very, very good to carbohydrates before bed. Try eating a very carby, starchy meal before you go to bed. That can help. Other people don't react good at all to it. So if you're eating carbohydrates and that doesn't help, then eat no carbohydrates. Do the exact opposite and eat a bunch of protein. In Germany, I would recommend Magerquark. An equivalent to that could be Greek yogurt, for example, cottage cheese, skyr, things like that. Eat just a bunch of dairy before going to bed and see how that treats you. The dairy, especially with the casein protein, can make you a bit sleepy. Thank you very much. And that would be basically it. Those are the main things. Honestly, if you get rid of the distractor, the phone, and you get rid of the blue light, you don't watch TV, etc., but you simply read a book, that will help tremendously. Then other than that, as I said, nutrition. And moreover, if you have any issues, I'm not a doctor here, I cannot diagnose you, but if you have any issues, then those need to be sorted out as well. If you have financial issues, if you have any issues with relationships, etc., then nothing will help you, basically. Because then you will battle your demons before you go to bed. So you need to sort those things out as well, so you can actually get a good night's sleep. Our body will stay alert. There is fight or flight mechanisms within our body, and you will stay alert if you haven't sorted out the things that you need to sort out. You can tell yourself that everything is sorted out, but your body will know, and therefore will keep you awake because it believes you need to stay awake in order to sort out those things. That's another factor. And then if all of this fails, then I would try melatonin. Melatonin is essentially a sleep hormone, if you will. In most countries, it is prescription-free. I think even in Germany nowadays, I believe it is prescription-free nowadays. So you could experiment with that. Another thing that can help is GABA, G-A-B-A. That's an amino acid that can help with sleep as well. CBD can help too with good sleep. And that's about it. Yeah, those would be my tips if you really can't get any sleep. Go through all of those things, and then you should have a good night. Okay, thank you very much, brother. Appreciate it. Abdullah Alfk donated 37 Dubai currency. I always forget what it was. Dubai dollar. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it. And that's the biggest donation today. Most generous one. Thank you. And now we're gonna drink water out of a wine glass. Don't worry, guys, it's not alcohol. I'm just gonna drink water. Here we go. That's the only glass I could find here in this flat. I need to buy new ones. Okay, thank you very much, Abdullah. Do you have doubts regarding Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, being the final messenger? If not, it's possible to do Shahada in private while continuing research. Research can take a lifetime. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed. Thank you very much for the super chat. It's a good question. Doubts about Prophet Muhammad. To be totally honest, man, at first, again, complete transparency here. I'm always transparent on this channel. When I was listening to David Wood, when I was listening to AP and the likes, they displayed Prophet Muhammad in a very, very vile fashion, very dirty fashion, if you will. And since then, thank God, I've seen a lot of debunking videos about them again. And I had a totally different view out of sudden on Prophet Muhammad, a totally different perspective. Actually, matter of fact, I reacted to 2 videos today about Prophet Muhammad, and they were very, very eye-opening to me. But I don't want to spoil them. They should be, God willing, online next week. And then we will see that reaction, so I don't want to spoil it over here. But that being said, yeah, my perspective has completely changed on him, on the prophethood, etc., etc. However, that is the issue with the internet. That is the issue with anything you do in life. Once you open up a door, you can never close it fully again. So keep that in mind no matter what you do, right? I had this talk as well with a good friend of mine. Ultimately, when I was going out back in the day, party scene, using drugs, etc., etc., I haven't touched any in, I believe it's 11 years now, something of those lines. So definitely over a decade. I don't have an addictive personality as such. I never had. I could always try things and then just stop them. I was smoking a lot of cigarettes back in the day, in my 20s. I was smoking 2 big boxes of Marlboro. Can you believe this? 50 cigarettes per day. So now you would say, yeah, you were addicted. Kind of. During that time, I just really enjoyed smoking, and I enjoyed the social aspect of it. I enjoyed smoking with women as well. Yeah, sounds a bit weird, but it was really the case. I used it as a means of picking up chicks as well. You would go out, just ask for a lighter, whatever. It was a very, very social thing. And then when I saw that it wasn't serving me, I just quit. Point of the story is, I do understand that social aspect, and that social aspect is still with me. I understand how useful that can be. Very, very destructive on the one hand, but very useful on the other as well, for certain things. So now, the same with the drugs. No urge at all, zero, quite the opposite. I'm very, very opposed to it. I don't want to touch any drug at all. That's my son again, knocking at my door. At all, zero. However, that being said, the door has been opened, and I know exactly how it feels to be in a party, loud music, drugs, women, etc., etc. I know exactly how that feels. And this is why nowadays I can't simply go to a beach bar, for example, right? Somewhere in Thailand here, just go to a beach bar, have a apple juice, and listen to the music. I can't. It's not because otherwise I would start doing drugs. Not at all. Zero. But I simply know how it would be And the sober state of that, I absolutely despise. That's how I am. I cannot stand it. So now, why do I give you this extended monologue here? It is because I've seen, unfortunately, the speeches given by certain anti-Islamists about Prophet Muhammad. I've seen the critique of Islam first. And this is why, in my mind, I need to debunk all of that first for myself. And moreover, I need to distance myself from it even further, and to replace it with the truth, ultimately, right? I'm not talking about replacing it with some positive affirmations here, but replacing it with the truth, with real knowledge about Prophet Muhammad. And that's where I'm at right now. So therefore, it's not so much even that I'm doubting necessarily that he was a prophet of God, because if I put it into comparison with Moses, for example, why would Moses or Noah be a prophet of God and Muhammad not? So it's really not that much of a doubt anymore. It's much more a lack of knowing him, in a sense. Because growing up as a Christian, we believe that we got to know Jesus, right? And let's be, again, completely honest here, please, guys. Everybody has to admit that. No matter if we read Hadith or if we read the Bible or whatnot, ultimately, even if we get knowledge about certain people in history, Alexander the Great, for that matter, we haven't met them. We haven't seen them firsthand, right? So therefore, we have to rely on those stories. And because we haven't met them as ourselves, we cannot truly know them. But with certain archetypes and certain stories, as a Christian, it definitely feels as if we met Jesus, as if we know Jesus, right? And Jesus is displayed as this, within Christianity, as God, ultimately. But even if you don't believe in him as God and you believe in him as the Son of God, or just a mere prophet even, you see him as this larger-than-life figure, right? And that sticks with you. And that's why Prophet Muhammad, on the other hand, I don't know enough about. So I'm learning about him, and every time I hear something about him from the Islamic perspective, really I'm in awe often. And I say, wow, this is absolutely beautiful. But at the same time, I don't feel like I know him. And again, as I said in the beginning, of course that is limited because I will never meet him. But I need to learn more about him so I can say, okay, I get the understanding, I get the idea who this man was and what he stood for and how he falls into place with other prophets, etc., etc. So that is where I'm at right now. I hope this answers the question. Thank you very much, Abdullah. I appreciate it, bro. Venom donated $5. Thank you very much. Have you ever had a discussion with atheists? What would be your main arguments? So I had many discussions with atheists, but online, I'm not too sure. Indirectly, I guess, when I was talking to vegans, and 1 second, I have to plug in my laptop here. Indirectly, when I was talking to vegans, because 99% of vegans are atheists, but a discussion about theism and atheism as such online, only that we did not have here on this channel. My main argument, you can basically find when you watch my latest Dr. Zakir Naik response video or reaction video. The main argument is simply that no argument that an atheist makes holds any weight if they truly believe in their worldview. Why is that so? It's very simple. Because an atheist says that everything just evolved randomly. There is no universal right and wrong. As an atheist, you cannot believe in a universal right and wrong in absolutes. So therefore, everything becomes subjective. And if everything becomes subjective and everything is random evolution, what I hear then coming from the atheist is simply random evolutionary mushmash that doesn't mean anything. And therefore, if the atheist wants to convince me, or anybody for that matter, and wants to tell us that atheism is the way to go and theism is wrong, then you have to remind them that in their worldview, there is no right and wrong. So if there is no right and wrong, why would I listen to the argument for atheism? And ultimately, every single time, it leads to them claiming that it's based upon society. Whatever is good for society, human flourishing. That's what the atheist then claims. Whatever is good for society must be ultimately good. But remember, there is no ultimate right and wrong, and there is no ultimate good and bad within the atheist worldview. And because that is so, who cares what is good for society? It doesn't matter, because their opinion, again, doesn't matter. And that's not me being arrogant. Please try to understand the argument here. By their own standards, their opinion doesn't matter. Because, yet again, no absolute truths, and moreover, no judgment either, right? There is not even an afterlife. So if there is no afterlife, this life doesn't matter at all. Think about it. If there is really no afterlife, thank you very much. If there's really no afterlife, and existence, your existence, just stops. That's it. The lamps are off, shut down, no light, infinite darkness. You're not there. Just, as the atheists claim, before you were born. The same thing. You can't remember. If we accept that as truth, even though, yet again, that is an absolute truth statement, so what is that grounded upon? Nobody will tell you within the atheist community, but hey, let's grant it for the sake of the argument. The lights are off, the lamps go off. Okay, then it doesn't matter if I die today, because I can't remember my 35 years. If I die tomorrow, if I die with 100, I had a fulfilled life. Who cares if I had a fulfilled life, because now I'm dead and I cannot remember anything, right? Or if I simply die as an infant, or if I have never been born, it doesn't matter. So it leads to nihilism every single time. And I talk to atheists and they would admit this. They would admit that the argument is correct, that you can have only God and nihilism. There is nothing else. Before you get into theism, before you get into certain faiths, before you even discuss Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and whatnot, you have just this. There's a binary structure of nihilism and God. Once you decide for God, then there's a different, secluded, very, very interesting for me personally, subject matter, but nevertheless, when we're talking to atheists, we're not even talking about religion. We're talking simply about existence of God, yes or no. Ultimately, the atheist will have to accept, thank you very much, going right to it in a second, the atheist will have to accept that no statement that he gives holds any value within this reality, if this is even a reality from the standpoint of an atheist. That's it. There's nothing to debate for. There is no right and wrong, there is no good and evil, hence every argument that is being made for society is invalid. If we take, for example, a quote of Sam Harris, a very prominent atheist, one of his quotes is, "I don't have to tell you that poisoning a village in Africa is bad. I don't have to tell you guys." Okay? Why don't you? Why don't you have to tell you guys? Why is that bad? What is bad? And that is not simply saying things here for the sake of the argument. It really has no grounding in anything. Sam Harris, which is an atheist, which doesn't believe, for the 1,000th time now, in right and wrong, will tell me that it's wrong to poison a village in Africa. Why is it wrong? There's nothing wrong about it within your worldview. Everything is relative. Life just ends, lights are off, it doesn't matter. We can literally do whatever we want. Why should there be any progression? Nobody will witness it ever, because everybody's lights go off. There is nothing left, right? Simply darkness for all eternity. Who cares? Why do we build buildings? Why do we just stay in the jungle? There is no reason for progress. So as you can see, it's a self-defeating argument when you talk to atheists, every single time. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. One more time, let me give you an applause. Easy G King donated $5 again. Thank you very much, Easy G. Do you use any beard products? Awesome beard, bro. Thank you very much, brother. I use almost nothing, but that being said, lately it has been kind of fuzzy. Since I moved to Thailand, man, and now looking back, I think it was fuzzy as well when I was in Thailand. It gets very dry, man. Very dry, and it doesn't look the way that it looked like in Europe. So I might start using some beard products. And if I do, I will choose a brand that is actually working. And then I will talk about it here on my channel. But as for right now, haven't used anything in particular other than American oil. I think it's called argan oil or something like that. I use that a bit. Coconut oil a little bit as well. That's not too bad. But I wasn't too convinced either way. So if I find a good beard product that actually does the job, then I might actually spread the info here on my channel. But up until then, I just use simple oils and the rest is genetics. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, bro. Abdullah donated $7.29. Thank you very much, bro. Any thoughts on Andrew Tate reverting to Islam? Yeah, okay. Let me put it like this. I've been getting a ton of requests and people told me as well, hey man, for the algorithm, bro, do it. It's so good, so hot right now, hot topic. And sure, if I would go only for clicks and only for the algorithm, I would have done a video on Andrew Tate. But believe it or not, especially dear haters here, I'm not doing it for the algorithm. I do it for my personal growth here as well, if you will, as egocentric as that sounds. But it's true, I actually want to learn. And at the same time, I'm establishing a community that is mind-blowing. Honestly, I have to say this. It's crazy. Since I started reacting to Islamic videos, the community here, and I always had a good community, I have to say. But since then it exploded, and the support is insane, and people are networking. Not only here in the comment section, thank you so much guys for that, but even beyond that, people reach out to me privately. I'm talking to so many people, it's wild. I can't even respond to everybody. It's the craziest thing. So therefore it has been so gratifying to do those videos. But nevertheless, I still make videos at my own pace, and I make videos about what I want to make videos, essentially. I mean, with the reaction videos, it is recommendations of you guys, and then I simply react to them. If I don't like a video after 2 minutes watching or so, I just turn it off and then I react to another one. But other than that, I never pre-watch those videos. It's always a genuine reaction every single time. That being said, about Andrew Tate, I don't know him personally. The way that he's been presented online, I came to like the guy. I agree with 99% of what he says, basically. I see him as a brother, to be honest. I would say a brother in mind. Does it make sense? Because I have a very, very similar worldview to him. So, yeah, I just see him as a brother. It would be somebody that I could hang out with. Somebody that has the very, very similar perspective. And therefore, I'm happy for him. But I cringe very hard when I see people reacting to him. Seems kind of cringy to me. Very off. I don't like it. And moreover, I am not Muslim. Thank you very much, guys. I'm gonna react to it in a second. I'm not Muslim, right? You have to keep that in mind. I say it every single time on my videos, but I'm just a guy reacting to Islamic videos, learning about Islam. That's me. I'm not a scholar, not a Christian scholar, not Islamic scholar, right? I'm not some 50, 60, 70-year-old sage either. I'm just a 35-year-old dude that got lucky, stumbled across the Quran, read the whole thing, and now is learning further about Islam and has the pleasure of reacting to videos and having a great audience. It's absolutely fantastic. But that being said, I'm not a spokesperson for Islam, and I cannot welcome Andrew Tate to Islam. I'm not even converted myself, so he beat me to it, if it ever happens. He won that race. Yeah, that being said, I'm happy for him. It seems very congruent. It seems that he put in enough thought, I would say. Of course, from a theological perspective, people could say, yeah, well, he didn't learn properly about Christianity, he didn't fully learn about Islam, etc., etc. Hey, everybody takes different. I think that he agrees with the main points of Islam, and therefore good for him. I'm really genuinely happy for him. I wish him all the best here and in the afterlife. So may he prosper, not only financially, but spiritually as well. All the best. That's pretty much all I can say to him. Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it. Pakistani from BG. Is that a Pakistani from Bulgaria? I don't know. Thank you very much for the $3. Salam. This is a request to make a video on your beard journey, as in going through older photos and explaining thoughts. After which a video going through photos we sent in, and although maybe not an educational advice, your experience would still be helpful. Well, that's very interesting. Thank you very much, bro. It's a very, very interesting idea, actually. I might do that at some point. To kind of spoil it a little bit, I started shaving when I was 11 years old. Alright, so maybe that helped. And I always had some type of beard. But this beard, the way that it is right now, I've been rocking since I'm 25. Yep. So 10 years. 10 years, the same look. Shaved head, beard. 10 years, man. They passed by like this. It's absolutely crazy. I don't feel that much older, but I certainly am. 10 years just passed by like so. It's insane. But yeah, this is why people talk about my beard. Appreciate it, I guess. For me, it's just normal. I've been wearing this for 10 years. There's nothing to it. I know that now people try to grow their beard, etc. And I have plenty of tips how to. But for me, it's just this. It's just the lack of shaving. There's nothing to it. You just don't shave. Thank you very much, Pakistani from BG. I appreciate it, bro. I will think about it. Maybe, yeah, why not? Maybe I'm going to do a video like that. It's actually quite interesting. Thank you very much. Hammer Nail, thank you very much again, brother. Donated $2 Australian. Have you had any Jinn experiences? Yeah, I talked about that in one of my reaction videos. 1 second, let me give you the disclaimer. Here we go. With a little bit of music as well. Okay, you get the idea, right? Here we are. So, the reason why I give you this medical disclaimer is that most of my experiences with Jinn or with other beings, call them what you will, came through certain... yeah, you get it? So we're just going to call them spiritual experiences for the sake of this live stream, for the sake of this channel. So in those spiritual experiences, yes, I encountered certain beings that might qualify as jinns. The reason why I would agree with the description of jinns is because from what I know, and correct me if I'm wrong here, what I learned about jinns is that jinns, they're not ultimately good or evil. It's not as black and white as it is in Christianity. Within Christianity, we have angels and demons. That's it. You have the angels and they're good, and then you have the demons and they're bad. Done. And there's nothing in between, right? So therefore, for example, if we look into certain Hindu deities that they call gods, right, or any type of pagan deity that they call gods, the Christian says those are all demons, and that's it, right? So, don't get me wrong, I don't disagree fully with it by saying, okay, those are not gods. With that I agree completely, right? They are not gods. But are they just demons now? So classified as pure evil, the shaitan, so to speak. And I don't agree with that. So this is why, looking into Islamic theology, that made much more sense to me. Thank you very much, Miranda. Is it you? For the mod position. Let me double check and then I'm going to add you as a moderator. In a second. If I forget, please remind me again. But in a second, let me just finish my thought here. Yeah, as I was saying, so I would agree much stronger with the Islamic perspective of jinns, at least the way that I understood it, that they are not ultimately good and evil. Some of them are, for sure. You have some that are really evil, the shaitans, or shayateen, I believe, right? And then you have better ones or good ones or what have you, and everything in between. They're living lives like humans ultimately. They have their egos, they have their biases, they even have different faiths. And yeah, that could very well be, because this is truly what I saw, right? I'm not saying this so you seek out the same experiences here. Please don't. Stay away from it completely if you can. And moreover, I'm not saying this in order to tell you, therefore it's true. I'm not trying to build a little cult here, and I'm proclaiming the truth of my experiences, right? I'm simply saying and sharing what I saw, and now maybe it's correct, maybe it's delusional, maybe it's totally wrong, what have you. So again, in those experiences, yes, I met different beings. Some of them were made kind of light, others were made out of smoke, others were made out of laser beams, very similar to this background here, some of them as well. Others were made out of substances that I can't even describe. A little bit like, how do you call those things? I'm lacking the English vocabulary for this. You have kids playing with it, those bubbles. You know what I'm saying? When you dip this little stick into water and then you make those little bubbles. I really don't know how they're called in English. But anyways, those little things. And that's how they looked like. Others, they looked like made out of mirror. Very, very strange. That being said, yeah, those beings I would classify as jinns. Some of them seemed like they had an agenda. Some seemed like they wanted to get attached to you. They want to be with you. Some seemed like they had no real interest in you. They were doing only their thing, but they were happy to see you. Very, very strange. So very different existences of our own, created by God most certainly, because God created everything ultimately. But they had their own minds, their own thoughts, their own egos, their own motivations. Right? They had a free will like us. And it was quite interesting, because if you follow them then, you will follow their agenda and not God's agenda. So it's quite interesting. And this is why I love the Islamic statement so much, right? That there is nobody worthy of worship but God. Because otherwise you can fall for all of those traps. Right? Spiritually you can fall for those jinns, or even here in this world you can fall for women, drugs and whatnot. So it's such a fine line to walk. That's why I really love this Islamic directness, so to speak, of just worshipping one God and focusing only on him and literally nothing else. It's quite beautiful. Anyways, thank you so much, bro. Appreciate it. Next one up, NoobTube donated $3. Thank you very much. NoobTube, would you watch Hamza debating polite Christians video? The video is slightly long, but very interesting, and would love to get your views on the topic. So yeah, I would absolutely watch it. I'm opening it up as we speak. Let me see how long it is. 1 hour and 16 minutes. I'm gonna save it to my reaction playlist. Let me just save it, but I can't guarantee that I will react to it, because reacting to a video that is 1 hour and 16 minutes, what I would do is, if we have a video that the majority of viewers would agree upon, and they say, hey man, this one is just absolutely phenomenal, you have to watch this, then I would do a live stream. Okay, then I would do a live stream like this, and we could watch it live together. And if it is 1 hour long, we will definitely need 2 hours for the video. Then fine. But to do a reaction video that I then have to cut, etc., nah, that I wouldn't do. So if there's any video like that and people agree upon it, actually, if you're watching this stream offline, let me know in the comment section then. And you can upvote the comments. So if somebody posts, for example, hey, EF Dawa, convinced Christians, conviction put to the test, and people upvote it, and we have like, whatever, 150 upvotes, then I would say, okay, I can do a live stream like that. Why not? We're just going to do a reaction live stream, one video, go through the whole thing, cool. But for a simple reaction video, this is way too long. It would take me 2 hours, at least, to react to, and then to edit that thing would take 5 hours on top, so it would be on one video for a whole week. Nah, that's not feasible for me. I cannot do that. I don't have an editor. Everything that you see here, I do my own thumbnails, I do my own video editing, I do my own filming. Everything is made by myself. I'm a one-man army, and yeah, therefore I can't do that. So yet again, if there's a video like that, a long one, I think there was one in particular, I forgot the name, about a conversion story, and that video was 40 minutes or so. Things like that we can react to on live streams, if you want to, God willing. Okay, thank you very much, brother. I saved it to my playlist. I'm gonna have a look in my spare time. Tsukiroto donated $5 Canadian. Thank you very much, bro. After all of your research, it seems like you see the corruption in Christianity of today's age. What is your current position on Christianity? That's a very good question. First and foremost, let me give you guys an applause. Okay. Here we go. Let me just double check real quick. Just 1 second, guys. Okay, guys, as always, I'm really trying to answer certain chat questions. I see me being tagged, etc., etc. I can't. I really can't. I'm reading out still the super chats from 10 minutes ago. So if you want your question answered via super chat, Streamlabs donation like that, I can answer it. It's a win-win situation. You can support the channel and I can answer your questions, video recommendations and alike. Please per super chats or Streamlabs donations. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Okay, back to the super chat. The corruption of Christianity that we see in today's age, and what is your current position on Christianity? It's a very good question, and actually brings me back to why I initially wanted to be Orthodox Christian, right? Little wrap up. I have been baptized from birth, essentially. Yugoslavia was still in communism, and during that time, churches, mosques, etc., religion wasn't practiced. And therefore I was baptized in our flat in Macedonia during that time. It had to be done undercover, illegally, so the priest came into our flat and they baptized me there. So there's a huge attachment to that culture, to that religion. But at the same time, I strayed off the path, so to speak. I got into the New Age, Buddhism, Hinduism. And on that note, please guys, let me tell this to the haters as well. They tell me I'm changing religions all the time. No, I have never changed my religion. I always have been Orthodox Christian. That's what it is, right? And if I'm not Orthodox Christian enough for you, then, okay, guess what? 99% of Orthodox Christians are not Christian. Yeah, you have to deal with that statement then as well. Because people tell me, oh wow, you're not convinced of the Trinity and therefore you're out of the religion, you're not an Orthodox Christian, you're out of the church, apostate, heretic. Okay, cool, no worries. But on the Balkan where I'm from, I'm telling you that most people do not know about the Trinity, and once they research it, they're wrestling with it for the rest of their lives. There's a very, very small number of people that actually believes in the Trinity. Most people do not know about it. And they're quite shocked when you tell them that God is not one but three parts. They really do not know that. And therefore I would say that the Orthodox Christian community, yeah, they would be all heretics then, right? So to the new reverts here, especially on YouTube, that are claiming, hey, then you're out of the religion. Yeah, well then just scratch most of Orthodox Christians because they're not real Orthodox Christians. Anyways, that being said, I was attracted to it after my exploration of those other faiths, and let me finish that thought too. I never converted to any other faith. I simply adapted ideas. Buddhism was essentially about ahimsa, non-violence. I became vegan, etc., etc. So Buddhism, Hinduism, all of those ideologies, I never converted to any of them. Even though, yes, I spent time within Buddhist monasteries. I stayed there, I slept there, I meditated there, I fasted there, but I never accepted their religion as mine. I saw myself simply as a traveler through life, if you will, as pseudo-poetic as that might sound. But I never adapted a religion. I never converted. So I was stuck with Orthodox Christianity as an identification. And then at some point, I really got interested in God. And I wanted to return to God. And I wanted God to accept me as this stray away sheep, if you will. I wanted to return to God. And on that journey, I researched Christianity further and further and further. Islam wasn't on my radar at all. And once I understood that orthodoxy, Orthodox Christianity, was the first Christianity, or at least the first canonical Christianity now, I accepted it. And I said, wow, this is a miracle. I was born into the right faith from the get-go. And I've been looking everywhere. And yeah, silly me. Ultimately, I was sitting on the truth all the time, like a beggar on a pot of gold. I didn't see it. But now, truly looking into it, I realized that Orthodox Christianity was definitely not the first Christianity. They always claimed that Jesus Christ established the Orthodox Church. But looking into that, I can't find any evidence for it whatsoever. And please, honestly, if Orthodox Christians watch this, no hate at all. Please post in the comment section and show me where Jesus Christ established the Orthodox Church, the way that we have it right now. Singing Greek choirs, hanging gold everywhere, icons on the walls, right? Burning incense. No chance. There's absolutely no chance, and I think everybody would accept that Jesus Christ did not establish the Orthodox Church. Neither did he establish the Roman Catholic Church. There's no chance for that. But that is the argument, and that is the statement of the Orthodox Church, that Jesus Christ established the Church, and now the Church is the body of Christ on earth. It is the direct representation of Jesus. So that's what I wanted to believe. And at first, when I heard that, I just accepted it, and I said to myself, ah, cool, that makes sense. That's what it is. Jesus established that church, and this is the original church. Then apparently I looked back into it, and very quickly it got confirmed that yes, Orthodox Christianity was the first church before it came to the schism around 1045 or so, and the Catholics and the Orthodox, they split because the Catholics, in a nutshell, wanted to have a pope. And that's basically what it boils down to, looking at it. I, for myself, thought then that the Orthodox Church was established essentially right with Jesus and was now 2,000 years old and kept all the traditions in place. But that is not the truth. The Orthodox Church, the way that we know it, has been established after the Council of Nicaea, ultimately. It hasn't been in that form prior to it. And that's a fact, and everybody knows that. And that's why I then realized that ultimately I didn't have the teaching of Jesus at all, zero. Looking further into it, that was the biggest shocker to me, and that really blew my mind and destroyed my perception of it, is that the New Testament wasn't written by the apostles of Jesus Christ. And then I was looking at it and I was saying to myself, okay man, what am I reading here? If this is not written by the apostles of Jesus Christ, who is it written by? Who are those people, and how would they even know? Right? And why do they differ then? So that essentially means that it's not true, it's not real. I was taking it not as the Word of God. I said that before as well. For me, the Bible wasn't the Word of God, but it was at least historically accurate, I assumed. And if not historically accurate in every sense, then maybe the New Testament was. And if it wasn't the Word of God at all times, maybe sometimes it was. So justification after justification after justification, which leaves me, of course, shook in my faith. And I believe that Christians listening to this will be able to understand this as well. I simply couldn't see the authority within the Bible any longer. And then the Orthodox will say, don't worry about it, because the Bible has been canonized, has been put into place by the Church Fathers. And we, as Orthodox Christian, we have to trust the saints, the so-called saints, and the Church Fathers, right? And I was wondering, that's even crazier to me, because like that, I'm not listening to the Bible, and I'm not listening to Jesus, but I'm listening to the Church Fathers that allegedly have been led by the Holy Spirit now, and I have to take that at face value, and I have to trust them. So don't get me wrong, ultimately, of course, it comes down to trust, to faith, right? But if we really believe in the prophets of the Old Testament and we believe in Jesus coming with a message, we want to get as close to that message as we can, I would say, right? And how am I getting closer to the message? By listening to those Church Fathers. And then I visited Mount Athos. Really look this up. Please Google it for yourself. Mount Athos is an island in Greece, but it's an autonomous state. And for 1,000 years, no woman entered that state. It's crazy. I went there and you just have churches, monasteries, and only men. Only monks, priests, archbishops, etc. And all they do is worship, worship, worship. They're just praying to God. Or at least, so I thought. I thought it's all about praying to God. And when I made it down there, I was in awe. I really had a spiritual experience. And I said, wow, man, God brought me here. This is really amazing. I'm learning about the true faith of Jesus. This is fantastic. And I reached one church after spending the whole day hiking and looking for that church. I was by myself. And the Church Fathers, the monks there, they welcomed me and they said, wow, tell us about your story. And I told them, and they answered, Mother Mary must have brought you here. Mother Mary must have guided you. And that was the strangest thing I've ever heard. Really, it was so strange to me. It just didn't resonate with my spirit, if you will, with my soul. I was shook yet again. And I looked at them and I didn't want to say anything because, after all, I'm in their house. But for me, it was so crystal clear that God guided me there, and I had to make that experience. But it wasn't Mother Mary. Even from the Bible, it doesn't make sense to worship Mother Mary. Who does that? It didn't make sense to me. I don't worship Mother Mary. I just don't. For me, she is a woman, and a beautiful woman, and the mother of Jesus, and that's that. I don't have to worship her. But anyways, that is what it is, and therefore, how do I see Christianity nowadays? Christianity is not one thing. So people want to make it out that way. Of course, they want to say, okay, only Orthodox Christianity is Christianity. I would say the real church Christianity is Orthodox Christianity, hands down. Everything else is a deviation from that main church. I absolutely agree. Is it the same faith as Jesus had? Definitely not. Is it the original Christianity in that sense? I don't think so. We had the Gnostic Christians, Arianism, etc., etc. I think that they precede Orthodoxy, and therefore you could make the argument that they are the real Christianity. Or another one would be the Ebionites, I believe. There could be the real Christianity as well. But how do I see Christians nowadays? Again, they're different branches, different people. I, at the moment, am not focused on Christianity. I see either good or evil. I am binary like that. I simply see right, wrong, good, evil. And I've seen evil Muslims, good Christians. I've seen good Muslims, evil Christians. That's how I see it. I think, as the Quran puts it, Allah guides who He wills. That's how it is. So there is a reason why those other faiths exist at the moment, and they have to, apparently. And that's that. That's not my business. I appreciate anybody that actually looks into religion, anybody that actually wants to connect to God, and therefore Christians, Jews, Muslims, even to an extent Hindus, Buddhists. Again, if we're really focusing our minds on God, I believe that we can do absolutely powerful things here on earth. The more we get away from creation and more to the Creator, it's always a positive, and therefore if that is their path, I'm not here to judge. That's how it is. For me personally, I'm still identified as I've always been, because as I said before, even exploring other faiths, I never converted. I always was identified, at least culturally, with Christianity, and therefore still to this day, yes, I would be classified a Christian. It is what it is. But I am always very curious, and I always have to understand, and because that is the case, I simply do not resonate with the doctrines and the theology of Christianity as such. It doesn't add up to me personally. If it adds up to you, again, more power to you. I hope that you find peace with that ideology. I personally do not. For me, it drives me crazy, because I have to wrap my head around the Trinity, and that is against my soul. It's just not how I see God. For me, God is just perfect unity, oneness, and He is nothing like anything we see here. That's basically it. Okay, guys, 1 second. I will have to turn off the AC here. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Is the music still running? I don't think so, right? Should be fine. Okay, let's get back to the super chats. Thank you very much for waiting, guys. It just got super cold in this room, 16 degrees or so, and I'm already a bit sick. I shouldn't get sicker. The AC is brutal here in Thailand. Okay. Thank you very much, Tsukiroto Miranda. There she is. So let me try to put you on as a moderator. Can you do me a favor, Miranda, right now, and write whatever. Write hello, hello 3 times, or 5 times if you will. Spam the chat, so I can actually click on your name here and set you up as a moderator.
Let's create a bright, green future.
Thank you very much for that. So Miranda says, besides the fact you find a lot of rational arguments in favor of Quran and its truthfulness, do you feel something different when being in contact with Quran and the message of Islam? And do you feel this message is changing your worldview? That's a very deep, interesting question. Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to read it out in a second. I'm going to stare at my phone now, because I want to see if Miranda says hi, so I can set her up as a mod. But at the same time, I'm going to try to answer your question. So the question is, besides the rational argumentation that are in favor of Quran, the truthfulness, etc., do you feel something different when being in contact with the Quran? Yeah, absolutely. Of course. I said that before. There was something that I really couldn't pinpoint that much, and especially the videos that went into depth about whatever it is, mathematics within the Quran, mirroring of certain words, etc., etc. So all of this absolutely confirmed that subtle feeling that I had about the Quran being something special, but I couldn't really pinpoint it. I didn't know what exactly it is. But one thing is for sure, one thing is for certain, of course, that the Quran truly delivers what it claims to be. A clarification, right? And that clarification just has this very, very, I want to call it the defragmentation style on your brain. So I don't know if you ever defragmented your computer, and I don't know if you really know what a defragmentation process is, but a defragmentation process, you have it on your computer, you should do it sometimes. It just cleans out your computer and puts everything back into its right place. It's like cleaning your flat. And that's how it feels with the Quran for me personally. Because if you look at the religions nowadays, you see so many aspects of it, so much stuff that has been added into, and so many things where you can just tell, okay, this is definitely man-made. This is so man-made. It just stares you blankly and obviously into your face. You just know that Buddha never said, build me a golden statue. You just know. And you know as well that Jesus probably never wanted you to hang him crucified onto your wall. But that's how it is, right? And with Islam, or with the Quran especially, you don't have that. You just don't have that, and it defragments your mind. It brings you back into the worship of the Creator and not the creation, and therefore every time you look around you, you understand the temptations, I would say. You understand the pitfalls of this dunya, of this world, and you simply understand where you are at. You understand your own pitfalls, you understand your own shortcomings, you understand that you are just a mere human. And that is the beauty of it. If you look into the New Age movement, people want to believe that they are gods, and they want to worship themselves, basically. If you look into the mainstream, people don't believe in God, they don't believe in the New Age, they don't believe in deities, they don't believe in jinns, they don't believe in ghosts and demons and angels, but they do believe in social media, they do believe in makeup, they do believe in everything that is being advertised to them, and they can't wait to just gulp it down. It's absolutely pathetic, and so therefore they're creating gods out of everything surrounding them. It's absolutely repulsive to me. I don't even understand how people can live like that, but they do. Right? And it's not me to judge them. But for me personally, as I said, through the Quranic worldview, all of that just disappears. You look around, you understand it, it's fun and games, it's loud, it's shiny, it's colorful, it can be very attractive as well, but it's not the ultimate reality, it's not God, right? And therefore, no matter what it is, you meet people, and some people offer you something. It could be money, it could be influence, it could be this, could be that. And it just doesn't really matter, right? Because you're not concerned with it anymore. You're concerned with the afterlife, and you're concerned with God. And that is the most beautiful thing. So ultimately, this is what I was seeking within Christianity as well. And I thought it's going to lead me there. But, as I said, for me personally, the Trinity just brought me out of that worldview again. Because my focus... Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to read it out in a second. For me, the Trinity brought me out of that mindset. I mean, in Orthodoxy, we had this saying as well, be in this world, but not of it, etc. So focus on your spiritual progress, etc., etc. But I was focused on so many things all of a sudden. On Jesus, on the crucifixion of Jesus, on Mother Mary, on the icons, on this, on that, on left, on right, on forth and back, and Father and Son and Holy Spirit and everything. But ultimately, I just wanted to focus on God and to keep my mind still and to not worry about it anymore. Just to submit myself to God and now live life, right? It shouldn't be so hard, but it became super hard for me, super stressful. Thank you very much. 1 second. Why doesn't it display you here? Miranda, I'm trying to put you on as a moderator, but it doesn't work. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where is she? Okay, let me just update here. Refresh. Maybe it's gonna work now. Okay, I'm gonna try. If it doesn't work at all, I'm gonna try to do it offline then again. But I have to keep on going. Yeah, apologies for that. I'm gonna try to put you on as a moderator, but at the moment it simply doesn't correctly work for whatever reason. Okay. Is that the same Miranda? Mira and Dollar? Okay, you're gonna become the moderator now. Here we go. Add moderator. Miranda became moderator. There you go. Fantastic. We have one more mod. I'm gonna put more mods into place for sure. God willing, because the chat is going berserk. It's going crazy. Anyhow, Miranda, thank you very much for the question. This is essentially how I feel about it. This is how I see it. And this is what I very, very much appreciate about it. But this is aside now from the religious context, right? This is just the Quranic worldview, the way that I understood it. Okay, thank you very much for the donation. Let's continue. Akko Mohammadi donated 50 NOK. Thank you very much through Super Chat. Appreciate it, Akko. Miranda donated again, 518. This donation is for your son. Buy him something fun from me. Thank you so much. That's so cute. Extra applause for this. Thank you very much. I'm gonna buy him. I don't want to spoil him too much, so maybe not again another toy. But we'll find something for him, for sure. Maybe some clothes. He definitely needs new shorts. He's growing, thank God. He's getting bigger and bigger. I bought him a tie outfit here. It looks very cute. He messed it up in 5 minutes. But yeah, maybe some clothes. For that amount of money you can get something here in Thai baht for sure. Thank you so much, Miranda. I appreciate it. Very cute of you. Abo Seleman donated 50 SAR. Thank you very much, brother. Why you look into another book besides... 1 second. Thank you. Why do you look into another book besides the Quran? Are you considering worship Muhammad or authors of books of alleged Hadith, repeating the same mistake of old nations, worshipping the messenger instead of Allah? I do absolutely agree with your concern there. Let's put it that way. This is what I, for example, didn't even know about Islam before learning about it. I thought it's just, yet again, another religion that has a guy, and now they're going to worship that guy, right? So Buddhism worships Buddha, and Christianity worships Jesus. So I thought it's basically the same. They worship Muhammad. And with some Muslims, talking to them, it really seemed like that. It seemed definitely like they're worshipping Muhammad. I mean, especially if you look into the media and certain things that happened after Muhammad caricatures, etc., etc. I thought, okay, so that is their God, basically. And they worship him, so I don't want any part in that. Thank you very much. I'm going to read out in a second. But by reading the Quran, I agree here with you as well. I saw that it wasn't about Muhammad at all, basically. He was mentioned a little bit, but it wasn't about him. It was about the true faith in God. And that made all the sense in the world to me. So to this very day, that's it. I said it a million times. Tawheed makes sense. Simple. But now you say, why would you read other books? Why would you read Hadith? Because it's part of the religion. Because otherwise I could say, you know what? I'm a Quranist. Or, you know what? I am a believer already. And I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to go to the mosque per se. I don't have anything to fear, right? I can just go to the church, and now I'm a believer, and I believe in one God, and that's basically it. My journey ends here. But if I want to learn about the religion of Islam, Islam, so to speak, then I would need to research further, and I would need to understand more. But this is not in terms of me now looking to worship Muhammad. Hey, I want to worship the Prophet. Not at all, because that's not what Islam is to me. Muhammad is the messenger, and the God is called Allah, so it's just God, and you worship him and nobody else. It's pretty crystal clear. So therefore I do understand your concern, but I don't think that me personally reading Hadith will lead me to that, because even as a Christian I never worshipped Jesus. In that sense, I always worshipped God. So nothing will change there. I read them because I want to understand the religion more, I want to understand the history a bit more, but I'm not a history buff, and it won't change much about my perception. For me, what is attractive to Islam is not the historical claims. It's not the Hadith in that sense. For me, the timeless statement of that there is no God but God, that is attractive. It's a transcendental argument. It's a timeless argument. It's not an argument based upon history. So that's how I see it, and that's why you don't have to worry. I'm not going to start worshipping books or authors or Muhammad himself. That's not what it's about. I just want to learn and understand the religion. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Angela Bloom asks, may I also be a moderator? Angela, I can't find you here, and I have to find you on my phone. And I haven't seen you very active here, to be honest. But if you really like to be a moderator, why not? We can give it a try. So do me a favor now and post again. Say hello 3 times. And then I might put you on as a moderator as well. And then we're going to have you on a trial. I hope you're doing a good job, Angela. Otherwise you're fired. Just kidding. We definitely need more... There she is, Angela. We definitely need more moderators. Thank you very much for the support, and you've been promoted to moderator. There you go. Sweet. Thank you very much. Okay. Hey, phone. Don't fall. My phone just dropped. Okay, let's continue. We have many new subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. Over 70% not subscribed. Just watch my channel randomly. And therefore, if you want to support the channel, if you want to stay notified, subscribe. Hit the notification bell and all of those things. Thank you very much. And Javid, good to see you, brother. Long time no see. Ha ha ha. $1, thank you very much. He says, I've heard the MGTOW community use that all-male place you mentioned as an example, as one of many societies are sustainable without women. You don't see all women societies. They will be conquered eventually or primitive. Okay, this is... I understand. So you're talking about Athos. Athos, again, A-T-H-O-S. Athos. Look it up in Greece. Very interesting, very fascinating. It's not a MGTOW community in that sense, but I mean, ultimately, yes, it is. It's actually quite funny. I never thought about it like that. It is men going their own way, but they are the true monks because they are monks. They live the monastic lifestyle. They're monks, they're priests. And for over 1,000 years, there has been not one woman on that island. Very, very interesting. I think a woman or two, they tried to sneak in, dressed up as men, but they got found, kicked out. But nevertheless, people go there through their lives without ever seeing a woman. It's absolutely insane what is happening, but that's their life, and that's how they want to serve God, and I understand it. But it's true, their society works sufficiently. It's amazing. They don't have any scandals like the Catholics in terms of I can't say it here. So yeah, it's very functioning. It's amazing. They're producing their own food. They're cleaning their own premises. They're building stuff. Sometimes when they need more construction, they actually call in construction workers from the outside. So they come, they help, but it's all men. So it's literally all men, yeah, building those societies. It's quite amazing. Puts things into a beautiful perspective. Thank you very much for that super chat, actually, David. It's quite interesting because it's true. And women in such a society, they would be simply in the role of mothers, and that's fine because men can build everything and can maintain everything as well. It's amazing. It's interesting. Thank you very much, bro. Appreciate it. Hammer Nail donated $2 again. Thank you very much, Hammer Nail. I'm sorry for my Muslims BS trying to convert you. Yeah, don't be sorry. I had plenty of people reach out to me. And some of them apologized as well on the behalf of the Muslims that they want to convert me. Please don't. It's totally fine. I understand the passion. I understand that people that stand for the religion are identified with the religion. They simply want to gain a brother. I totally get it. And therefore I don't take it as an offense or what have you. In Islam, however, patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. And therefore I think you should focus on that, ultimately. And I have my own path. So how long it might take, up to God. But I really don't take it as something negative. Actually, I take it as something positive and as a compliment in a sense, because those people really want me as a bro. And I understand that. I'm your bro anyways, guys, so don't worry about it. I'm not an enemy. I love you all. Much love. Mwah. But yeah, I understand. I understand it. I understand the passion, and therefore no offense taken, no apologies needed at all. Javid donated $5. Thank you very much again, Javid. Some reality shows are scripted. Yeah, for sure. Many. All of them. However, those survivor shows are good examples of male-female behavior. Oftentimes, the man will build better sustainable environment, while the women can't feed themselves. Eventually, the women use the man to build the camp. Absolutely correct. And in the end, ultimately, it always boils down to that. If men do not take the responsibility of being men, then the society will fall apart. And that's what we see in the West. Men are not men anymore, therefore women are not women anymore, and therefore you simply do not have humanity anymore. That's basically what it is. So if you buy into the social media and the propaganda, and you start behaving like they want you to behave, then you wreck a society. And this is why I am fully convinced that the media is infiltrated by a certain group that has an interest in destroying those societies. Yuri Bezmenov had a great speech. I think this is now 40 years ago. You can still find it on YouTube. And he talks about espionage, about spies basically infiltrating societies through certain movements. Right? It's not like James Bond, he says, but it is movements that are being infiltrated by spies, such as feminism, the rainbow people, veganism even, etc., etc. You have all those movements, and they try to distract people and essentially play people against each other, and like that the society falls. It's quite amazing to see. You look into feminism, how it divided the family, what happened with it. It's not a movement to empower women, quite the opposite. It's a movement to weaken women, and with that as well weaken men, for men to not be masculine anymore. And honestly, it's tiresome to speak about it, because it's so obvious. It's so damn obvious if you have one brain cell left, to be totally honest. I can't relate to the West. This is why I don't live there anymore. I can't stand it, because I don't understand how men got duped into not being masculine. I mean, what else is there? Really, what else is there? A tree is a tree because it has certain attributes. Water has a very distinct attribute. It's wet, okay? And so if water is not wet anymore, then water is not water anymore. It's that simple, right? And it's the same with men and women. If a woman is not feminine anymore, and a man is not masculine anymore, yeah, wow, big surprise, then you don't have life. You don't have humans. It's absolutely impossible to live like that. Don't you understand? This is why the example here of Survivor shows, yeah, because it brings people back into a rural environment, into a natural environment, and therefore they have to follow their natural roles, because otherwise society doesn't move along. It doesn't work. And that is the best example, ultimately. However, in those mega cities where everybody can do a man's job now, allegedly, and everybody can do a woman's job as well, and everybody can just be individually super happy, yay! Yeah, in those societies, you don't need to be a woman or a man, and you can be both and everything at the same time. That's my mic. In those societies, of course, you will have the issue of a non-functioning society. It's not even a society anymore, because people do not live how normal people lived. It is the same as if you would remove animals from the natural environment and put them in a zoo. And there you see suicidal tendencies and whatnot, self-mutilation. Yeah, of course, because the environment makes you crazy. And the environment, not only due to its technological advancement, but it makes you crazy due to the ideology, because they tell you to be something that you're not. It is so pathetic and so crazy, and I really don't understand how people fall for it. I don't understand what it would be to not be a man. I don't get it. I really don't understand it. I'm trying to wrap my head around, because I find it interesting to an extent. I would like to understand it, but I can't understand it. It's basically like when I see a documentary about Jeffrey Dahmer, and the guy is a gay serial killer. I cannot understand. I'm trying to understand. I understand it rationally, but I cannot understand. I don't understand the motivation behind it. I don't get it. I watched it on Netflix a little bit with my wife, and the guy just goes after a jogger, a male jogger, and brings him back home and wants to kill him. I don't understand. Alright, so that is sick behavior. I don't get it. And it's the same with Western society. I simply do not get it. I grew up there. I should get it by now. But I don't get it. I don't understand what they're doing. Growing up in Germany, I would always see that the neighbors of my family there, that the woman always wore the pants in the most literal sense. They would be the males and the guys would be the females. And then, oh yeah, don't let that, my women hear, don't let it hear her. Okay, well, what are you even talking about, man? I don't get it. Like, they would hide from their woman. Ooh, I'm gonna keep a secret from my woman. What's up, dude? What is going on, man? Do you have a pair of balls somewhere left? I don't really understand what is happening. I don't get it. That's basically it. I never got it. So for me, man was always just a man. And that is not even in terms of the way that they want to portray it. Like misogynistic and macho. No, it's just a man. What else can he be? He's a dude. My son is 1.5 years old today, exactly, right? And my wife would always say that as well, looking at him, and she would always say, he's such a dude. Yeah, of course, he's such a boy. So there is no conditioning in him. His expression, his honest biological state is just that of a boy. He's just a boy. That's what he is. And then when you're a man, you should be a man. And when you're a girl, you're a girl. And when you're a woman, you're a woman. It's just so damn obvious to me. I don't even know how much simpler it could get. But in this society, they don't even understand that. It's insanity. Right? And yeah, long story short. Actually, one more thing. I just thought about that. It's interesting. That's actually very interesting. I'm having a little epiphany here by myself. In the West, they call it gender roles. And so even in this MGTOW community and in this whatever, self-improvement, be the best version of yourself, BS, they're talking about we have to return to traditional gender roles. But even that is completely false. Even that is absolutely brain dead. Because now you already bought into the brainwashing of society that tells you that this is a role. It's not a role, dummy. This is what you are. Do you understand? They believe that it's a role. So, hey, I'm gonna get into the role. I'm gonna pretend to be a conservative woman. right? And I'm a conservative Republican, and I'm a real man. They think those are roles. You're absolutely sick in the head if you believe that. Do you understand? Those are not gender roles. It's called being normal. That's it. And that's what they don't understand. So yeah, I'm really getting this epiphany right now. Now I understand why they tick that way. Because for them it's just a role. And therefore it means that I can take any role I want. I can shave off my beard, take the remaining hairs, glue them to my bald head here, and take the role of a woman. Woohoo! Bobylina, that's me. Sexy. And brave. Stunning. Worship me. Female Bobby. Whatever, it's absolutely crazy, but that's how they see it, right? And ultimately, because they already bought into this role play, that's why they accept other people playing roles. Because they're fake. They're not even real. They don't even understand what it means to be real. They're like NPCs. Wow, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I'm having a realization now. That makes total sense. That's why people are in that state. Because they accepted everything to be a role. It's not a role. It's just being normal. It's just being born a man, being a man, born a woman, being a woman. That's pretty much what it is. Very, very simple. If you adhere to your own nature, then society will function. If you don't, then society will fall. Congratulations. Okay, enough rambling. Let me return to the super chats. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everybody. So crazy, man. Absolutely insane. And guys, God willing, very soon I want to take an office here. So a separate office from my flat as well. And there I should be able to speak a bit louder, be a little bit more animated, because every time I do my live streams, my kid is going to sleep, and this is why I always keep it a bit on the down low. I still hope you're enjoying those streams. Nevertheless, I'm giving it my best that I can here. But very soon, God willing, hopefully, we'll have an office, and then it's just going to be loud shouting Bobby all day long. Okay, thank you very much. Again, for the super chats, guys. Hi, Bobby, by NoobTube. Again, thank you very much, NoobTube. Hi, Bobby, the 1 hour video I sent earlier. You only need to watch the first 20 to 30 minutes to get the point of the video. The crux of it doesn't... What? Crux of the doesn't is handled within the first half of the video. But thank you anyway. Okay, bro. Yeah, thank you very much. Then I could do a reaction. If the video is 20 minutes, then I could react to the first 20 minutes. I could do that. Yeah, maybe not the whole video then. I can check 20 minutes of it, and then it might be feasible to do a reaction video. Thank you very much for that. Okay, Muslima donated $3. Thank you very much. Hello, Bobby. Do you consider yourself still to be a Christian? May Allah guide you. I love your reaction videos. Greetings from the Netherlands. Greetings to the Netherlands, one of my favorite countries. I was visiting quite often. That was always my holiday from Germany. I would always go over to the Netherlands. I answered this question half an hour back, and I said that during my time, especially throughout my 20s, I explored many different religions. Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and whatnot. And during that time, I never converted to another religion. Therefore, yet again, dear haters here, I'm not flip-flopping religions. Just because I'm learning doesn't mean I'm flip-flopping religions. I never changed my religion. So, will I? Maybe. But that being said, during that time, even though I wasn't going to church or wasn't believing in Trinity or whatnot, I was still identified as a Christian. And therefore, because I haven't converted to any other religion and I'm baptized into the faith of Christianity, I guess I'm a Christian, sure. So this is how you would classify me. This is the box that we have to put myself into. So no, again, it's not some sort of gag or some sort of clickbait. I haven't converted, so hence I am still a Christian. It is what it is. Thank you very much, Muslima. Appreciate it. Jabed, thank you very much, brother, for donating $10. Thank you so much for the generous donation. Looks like I'm going to Kiev. You will, huh? To Kiev, Ukraine for stem cell treatment next month. That's wild, man. Trying to get it done before it gets really cold. Yeah, next month should be really cold already. I'll be flying into Warsaw, Poland, and then taking a train to Ukraine. I remember that, bro. I remember our talk. I've only traveled with family, domestic, and Dominican Republic. Yeah, I never flew... No, I actually did. Of course I flew overseas. What am I even saying? I flew overseas, but not from Europe to America. What I did is I flew over to Australia, which took me 24 hours. Craziest flight ever. And yeah, from there I flew over to South America. That I did. And that was a long flight, because after that I flew from South America to Thailand. I think that was my longest flight, to be honest. Yeah, what you gonna do? Anyways, that being said, don't worry about it. I think you're gonna be fine. I have a buddy that flies consistently Europe, America, I think 10 times per year, at least. It's wild. About the cold, on the other hand, next month will be cold, bro. That's for sure. Next month, if you say November, it's already going to be cold, but December will be even colder. So you're definitely headed for the coldest period in Europe. There's no escaping that, man, unfortunately. And Warsaw, Poland, that area, Poland, Germany, all of that is super cold. So there's no escaping it. But anyways, man, all the best. You made up your mind. You decided to do so. So I wish you just all the best on the treatment. And I wish you well. That's it. I hope it goes well for you, God willing. And you see the improvement that you're looking for. Please keep me posted and let me know, because I'm interested in such things as well, especially for my shoulder and my knees that are definitely damaged from bodybuilding from way back. So I wish you all the best on the journey, bro. Don't worry about the flight. About the cold, you shall worry for sure. That's why I escaped Europe. No thanks, no winter anymore. But yeah, about the treatment, just keep us posted. God bless. Hammernail donated 2 Australian dollars again. Thank you very much, brother. And he says, you understand Islam better than 90% of Muslims. Too much of an honor, bro. Thank you very much. I'm just learning. So, yet again, to repeat, I'm not an Islamic scholar. I'm not a Christian scholar. I'm just a guy on YouTube that stumbled across the Quran and is watching reaction videos. Or is doing reaction videos, watching Islamic videos. So, yeah. Have mercy with me as well. And patience. If I say something wrong, I'm not a representative, right? I'm just learning. Miranda donated $1. Again, thank you so much, Miranda. Are you going to learn Arabic at some point, or are you undertaking this step only if you convert? That's actually a very good question yet again, I have to say. You have really good questions. It goes either way. That's actually very interesting. I never thought about it like that. So, at the same time, I want to learn more about Islam, as I'm doing right now, so knowing Arabic would be extremely useful, right? But at the same time, why learn Arabic if you never convert? That's the other question. But then on the other hand, what if you convert and then you learn Arabic and then all of a sudden, you find things that you don't agree with? What then, right? And not saying that you have to agree with everything within religion, because otherwise it wouldn't be religion. It would be false as well, but I'm saying with things that simply don't sit right at all with you and you cannot adapt, like the Trinity in my case. So that's a very, very good question. What was there first, the hen or the egg, right? Chicken or the egg? I would say I want to learn it before, if I have the choice, but ultimately who knows, right? And I say that really, if I have the choice, because it might be that I convert tomorrow, who knows? Or maybe not. And I don't want to sound vague, but I really don't know what will come first. So, yeah. I want to learn Arabic. That's the only thing I can say for certain. Thank you very much, Miranda. Appreciate it. Okay, Jivet again, 777. Thank you. I've never traveled alone, not even domestic. The flights are direct and the train to Ukraine, but then train back to Poland is not. I have to switch trains twice. Thank you very much. Is this process complicated? As a chauffeur driving international clients, I always ask. Okay, so first and foremost, you have a direct flight. Fantastic. There's nothing complicated about that, right? So you're going to fly, I don't know exactly how long it takes, 10 hours, something on those lines. I just flew to Thailand, and that took me 14 hours. So I flew to Phuket, and then I had to change and take another flight. So overall, no big deal, really. And traveling alone, no big deal either. Just sit down, watch some movies, relax. You'll be fine, God willing. But yeah, that's no issue whatsoever. Then you have a direct train as well to Poland. All good. The train system within Europe is fantastic, man. You really don't have to worry about anything. And now on the way back, you have to switch twice. Again, the train system is fantastic. I wouldn't worry about a thing. And on top of that, you already know. So you already know that you will have to switch trains twice. Everything is so visible. You cannot make any mistakes. I took a train from France to Germany. It took me, how long was that? 8 hours, I believe. Something on those lines. No worries. It's very easy. And I had to switch 3 times, actually. Yeah, there you go. It's really not hard at all. And I went through countries like France that don't even speak English, so I understood myself somehow with hands and feet. Don't worry about it one bit, brother. Honestly. That's the easiest thing. And it's an adventure. It's cool. Like for me personally, I always enjoy traveling alone. I've been doing that since 2014, ultimately. And every time I'm not traveling alone, I feel kind of restricted and it's strange to me. So traveling alone is just pure freedom. I love it. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy it as well. So therefore, now don't worry about it. Everything is super easy. You already have the train tickets now, obviously. Everything is planned for you. It couldn't be any easier. Man, people have been traveling to Europe forever, right? But just think back, let's say, to the 60s. They took planes and got there in the 60s, 70s, and they still got around. Or they went here to Asia in the 70s. When I see those stories, man, on YouTube, people telling me about how they went to Thailand in the 70s, they came from America. No Google Maps, no internet, no nothing. For me, that is absolutely, I'm in awe. I love it. I wish I could have done that too. So, yeah, don't worry about it, brother. You're completely safe, especially in Europe. Europe is really extremely safe. I know that some Americans have the perception that they're going to a third world country or something. Europe is just like America. You have everything. It's all good. You're going to get around. Don't worry about it. Hector Cedre donated $20. Thank you so much, Hector, for the generous donation. Let me give you an applause. What do you think about SGI Buddhism or Nichiren Buddhism? I do not know anything about it, to be honest. The only Buddhism that I was truly exposed to was Theravada Buddhism, which was here in Thailand. Certain forms of Buddhism, but I can't name them, particularly in Indonesia, in Bali. But ultimately, I haven't looked into those 2 types of Buddhism to give you any meaningful answer, unfortunately. I know that Theravada Buddhism makes the claim, I don't know if it's true or not, but at least it makes the claim that it is the truest form of Buddhism, like Orthodox Christianity claims, and that they are the closest to the Buddha. I don't know, again, how true it is, but that's their claim. And ultimately, even though that is their claim, I still see gold Buddha statues everywhere, etc., etc. So now, I'm not even in that position where I have to say, ooh, those pagan idol worshippers here, they're just worshipping their golden Buddha statues and that's what their religion is about. Of course not. I talked to monks, and monks said themselves that they ultimately have to transcend the whole concept of Buddhism in order to reach nirvana. That was their perception. So obviously they're not thinking that the golden Buddha statue has some sort of powers or is God, let alone, right? And therefore, Buddhism, no matter which branch it is, ultimately what I think about it is that it is the doctrine of the self and not the doctrine of God per se. Even though you have certain conceptualizations about the God mind, if you will, for me, it will never be fulfilling because it only focuses on the self. And with the self, for people that don't understand that spiritual concept, we're not talking about me here. I am the self, but everything is the self. Everything that we see within creation is not even creation. It's just the self. Everything is just an expression of the one self. And they're simple facets of higher self, lower self, and our separated sense of self through ego. That's basically always the same in Buddhism, no matter which branch of it. Or if I'm totally ignorant, then please, of course, correct me. But that's how I understood it. And for me as a human, being here, having this human experience, it just defies everything it means to be human. Because for me, what it means to be human is to worship a God, something higher than ourselves. This is part of the experience. As it is part of the experience to simply eat, right? When we are dead, we don't need nourishing foods in this way. We don't have biological bodies. We don't need to go to the toilet anymore. But guess what? Even going to the toilet, as tiresome as it can be and as dirty, it's being human. That's what it is. So it's intrinsic part, and God created it like this, and there is wisdom in it, and there is benefit in it, and it has to be that way. And it's good, ultimately, because God created it that way. So we do have to pee, and we do have to go to the toilet for number 2, and we do get sick, and sometimes we're healthy, and we do create children by putting our genitals together in a very animalistic fashion, and that's just what it is, right? And this all being human. And the same with the worship of God. We do have to have that hierarchy in order to be functioning humans. That's how I see it. If we as humans don't understand that there is something higher than ourselves, we're ultimately lost. And this is why I just don't vibe, for the lack of better words, with the doctrine of Buddhism, because it's always concerned about you, about yourself and your higher self, and everything is just a reflection of yourself, and that's it. And there is no worship of the highest, so to speak. And yeah, that leads, in my own experience, always to depression. I don't work that way. So I've seen very, very happy Thais, and they're happier than me, probably, possibly, potentially. Pretty sure they are. And they're smiling consistently. And they're Buddhists, right? So I'm not saying that this concept cannot be fulfilling for some. But for me, it just isn't, because it defies my inner core. It defies what it means to be human. See? And that's why I really cannot tell you about SGI. I cannot tell you about Nichiren. I only can tell you about my perception of Buddhism. But thank you very much, Hector, for the donation, for the generous one. I appreciate it, bro. Okay, guys, we have plenty of more super chats. A quick break. I need to put on the AC again. I'm going to be back in 1 second. Okay. And we are back. Fantastic. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, man. And thank you so much for hanging in here with the breaks. I really appreciate it. It's a fantastic live stream, as always, due to you guys, due to your participation. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And let me get back to the super chats. We have so many of them. Bossavelli donated $1. Thank you very much. Islam aligns with the fitra, so no matter what happens, it will stay aligned unless you are no longer human. Can you really go wrong then, though? Your thoughts. Always keep it up. Thank you very much, brother. Interesting. And I do agree with the claim. Let's put it that way. I would say that monotheism most certainly does agree with the fitra. 100%. I think that makes all the sense in the world. And that's where I'm kind of hung up at the moment. I'm not too sure about every aspect of Islam because, to be just very, very plain and simple here, I don't know every single aspect of Islam, so therefore I cannot know. Right? Fair enough. And One of my hang-ups there was, and still is to an extent, circumcision, for example, right? I don't know if that necessarily would agree with fitra, because, yeah, in natural environment, I don't know if people would cut off the foreskin, to be totally honest, right? I don't see that in all natural tribes. I've seen genital mutilation within tribes where they cut off the clitoris of women, which I don't agree with either. So that's a bit tricky. If we're talking about the Tawheed, yet again, the monotheism, I would say that as long as you're human, you will always have that. And this is what I always had. I said it plenty of times before. This is literally how I felt all the time. This is why it was so shocking for me to read the Quran. People don't understand this, I guess, but this was the shocker to me. I said previously that Muslims believe in one God and one God alone was a foreign concept to me. I was really surprised that this is what Islam entails. I was shocked. I really mean this, because this was my belief since I'm a kid. Since I'm a kid, I believed in one God, and that's it. Right? And once I found that in Islam, or once I found that in the Quran, I was surprised that my beliefs match and line up. But now if we're talking about certain other aspects, it doesn't really line up, and therefore just having this subjective view, I of course will wonder then if it lines up with fitra or not. But plenty of things definitely do line up 100%. Dynamics between man and woman, family structure, etc., you name it. There we definitely agree. I'm still learning, and I would have to see if the fitra truly agrees with all of those things. I mean, for that, we do have different schools of thought, and within those different schools of thought, as you can see, they disagree as well. What is haram, what is halal, or then you have the schism as well between Sunni and Shia, and they have different positions yet again, but what they all agree upon is, of course, Tawheed, right? And yeah, I would definitely agree that Tawheed agrees with fitra 1000%. About the rest, I'm not too certain yet. I would have to learn more. Yeah. Thank you very much. Said Karup donated 10 euros. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. And says, I heard a rabbi on YouTube saying that Jews were the chosen people to spread faith of one God among the nations. How successful were they? One man in the desert has accomplished the mission. A miracle? Yeah, I heard that too, that they were responsible for it, but I would say that they are not very good at it, in the sense that they spread Judaism. If we believe the right-wing theory of that all the Abrahamic faiths are just Judaism, just in a certain masked fashion, if you will, then they succeeded, of course. But if not, then we have to say that they, as a people, failed at that attempt because they kept Judaism ethnocentric. They didn't open it up to the Gentiles. Christianity was essentially this outpouring for the Gentiles at first, and therefore it has evangelized the world. But Islam, in the sense of pure monotheism, has done the job that the Jews have done, should have done. Absolutely. So therefore, to answer your question, not very successful at all. But, again, if we take the right-wing position, very successful. Thank you very much, bro. Sameh Ahmed donated $5. Thank you very much, brother. How are you planning to raise your kid? Depending on what? That's a very vague question. So, to just answer that, how am I planning to raise my kid? I'm raising him with the abilities that I have, hoping that I'm doing him justice as much as I can, of course. How am I raising him? To the best of my ability and, God willing, as a real man. That's basically all I can say. So my wish for him is to be strong, healthy, and a man, to be what he is. I want him to be nothing but what he is. I want him to be the honest self-expression of his being, the way that he is, the way that God created him. That's all I can wish for. And then whatever he wants to do in his life will be up to him. I'm just here to feed him, to give him good values, to make him strong. And then the rest up to him. I will take him to martial arts, I will take him to the gym, I will kick his butt, and then hopefully make him a tough little son. That's it. But the rest is up to God, it's up to him as well. Yeah. Javid asks, again, what is the flight duration that justifies flying business class for you? Most seem to say anything past 5 hours. My flight will be 9 to 11 hours. I got business just in case because of lack of experience traveling, but the price was way higher than economy. Yeah, so brother, again, absolute transparency here. If I could fly business class, I would fly business class all the time, all right? At the moment, I can't do that. I'm providing for my whole family, so I would have to pay business class for my wife, for me, for my kid. And at the moment, unfortunately, I couldn't do that, right? So my income isn't that grandiose, so we're saving wherever we can. And therefore, we always fly economy. Do I like it? No. Was the flight okay? Yeah, sure. The flight was 14 hours, as I said, and we were sitting in the last seat in the back. That had ups and downs, so one cool thing is there was nobody behind us. Nice. And another thing is, by some miracle, there was nobody in our row either, so it was 3 seats, just for my wife, me, and my son. That was awesome. But other than that, because it was in the rear, it was in the back, the plane was shaking like this in the back consistently. It was driving me nuts. I couldn't sleep for 14 hours, and it was nighttime. So it was pretty tough. So would I chose business class if I could have for that flight? Yeah, 100%, of course. So anything above 5 hours makes sense, for sure. I would say that if you can afford it, anything makes sense over, 3-4 hours even. But over 5 hours, most certainly. But only if you can afford it. So that's basically it. For me, it was out of the window. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. So God willing, at some point, hopefully, and I would fly only business class for 14 hours or 10-hour flights, for sure. But I've taken so many flights that took 24 hours even. 24 hours I was in the economy. 12 hours, 11 hours and whatnot. I did it all. And I always just flew economy, and I'm still here, thank God. So you don't have to worry about it, brother. For that long flight, if you can afford it, fantastic. Enjoy, even better. Then you have nothing to fear, just lay down. You can even use the business class like a bed, as far as I know. I've never been in one. I watched it on YouTube, like a bum. So yeah, absolutely enjoy it, man. It's awesome. You're good. And Javid continues and says, I got a first-class train ride back from Ukraine, but the direct ride into Ukraine is economy because there was no other option. There will be no food and the ride will be 20+ hours. Hey, adventure, bro. That's it, man. Adventure. Toughen up. Have fun. Hey, those cheap flights, cheap ferries, cheap buses, cheap trains, those are the stories that you will have to tell. So don't worry about it, man. Honestly, it's all fine. Now you already booked it. 20 hours is very, very long for sure. Just enjoy the ride. What else can I tell you? It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be always first class. We are all humans, you know. Maybe in the economy class you will see somebody like me, right? Because that's where I'm riding. I'm always in the economy. I'm never in the business. So don't worry about it. It's going to be fine, man. You're going to just see other people. Don't be scared. It should be absolutely fine. And you will have a story to tell. That's basically what it comes down to. Okay. Wow, we have so many chats. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Zoom party host Omar donated $5. Good to see you again, brother. He says, Zdravo, kako si? Dobar, kako si ti? I emailed the Zoom party Islamic game. I hope you got it and reviewed it. It is a video on my channel. Hvala. Hope to talk to you soon. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, man. I'm being bombarded by Instagram DMs, by emails and whatnot. It's amazing, but it's so much at the moment. And I'm going to double check. So hopefully, God willing, I will find it and then I will reach out to you. Thank you so much, bro. Verlich donated 20 euros. Thank you so much, brother. Hey, Bobby, have you experienced Middle Eastern hospitality? I know you're from close by, but I recommend Oman. Amazing seafood, culture, and you get a nice taste of what it's like to live in a Muslim majority country. Muslim hospitality in Turkey, I would say, very hospitable for sure. But Middle Eastern hospitality, not yet. No, so I've never been in Oman. I would definitely like to check it out, so thanks for the invite. God willing, some point I will. At the moment I'm applying for visas here. I don't even have my passport, so I cannot travel around at the moment. But who knows, God willing, at some point I will definitely love to check it out. Seafood I like too. Sounds good. and to see how it is in a Muslim majority country. I've seen that in Malaysia and Indonesia. I liked it. But to see it in a Middle Eastern context would be definitely something I would really appreciate. So yeah, I'm going to save it to my must-go travel places. Thank you very much, Verlith. Appreciate the generous donation, brother. Let me give you an applause. Javid asks again for the traveling tips. Appreciated. Someone told me to bring toilet paper because the train might not have any and the current may not work. So I need to purchase some other charger for my iPhone and things. I don't know what kind of charger you guys have in the States, but let me make it easy for you. So this one here, can you see this? Let me check. Here. This is Europe. This is how it looks like. So this is what we use. Works in Thailand as well. Pretty cool. In Australia it didn't work. But you can get a travel charger. And it's like an external charger and you can just plug your own chargers into it. And then it works. So you can get that in the airport, I believe. In travel shops. So maybe even in the States already at the airport you should be able to get it. I would highly recommend that. And then you're good to go, bro. You don't have to worry about it. About toilet paper, yeah, yet again, as I said, maybe you're going to have a story to tell then. I haven't taken a dump in trains. In planes, you always have toilet paper, water, etc., etc., so you should be fine. But yeah, if you want to be super secured, then sure, take some tissues with you just to be safe. But my travel tip is to not overthink it, as corny and cliche that might sound. But I just took my backpack 2014 and I left Germany and I flew 24 hours over India to Australia and that's it. And then I ended up there. I had no idea how YouTube works. I had no idea how Google works. Really, believe it or not, I was such a boomer. And I didn't know where to sleep. So I was just running around through the city with my backpack and I was checking hotels and I saw that the hotels were costing $300 per night. So that is pricey now, and imagine back then, I couldn't afford that. So I was just running around, and ultimately I decided to sleep on a bench until I finally met another backpacker and they told me about hostels, and then I ended up in a hostel, sleeping there for 3 nights straight, being eaten alive by cockroaches, because the whole hostel was filled with cockroaches, and they were sleeping in my bed. Yeah. Pair that with a hostel room that had no windows, and you had 3 Norwegian guys sleeping in there with me, and they were hanging their sweaty towels on their bunk beds right in front of the fan, so the salty scent could really penetrate the air. It was absolutely beautiful. Yeah, just like breathing through a sock and being crawled upon by cockroaches. So that was my first travel experience, and I ended up staying 2 years in Australia nevertheless. So yeah, dude, just don't overthink it, man. You're a man, you're gonna be fine. And you're gonna learn by doing. So it's not like you're going out on a backpack adventure now, everything is pre-booked, you're simply going for a stem cell treatment. Don't worry about it, bro. Take some paper tissues with you, I guess I never did. So if there's nothing, water will do. And you're gonna be just fine, believe me. It's gonna be an experience. Enjoy. I am not donated $5, thank you so much, bro. You said previously that you saw Jesus when you took Beep, can't say it here. How do you know that this vision is not from Shaitan, who is a master of deception? Absolutely. I'm not gonna disagree with that one bit. We simply do not know, right? We can't know. And that is something that everybody has to decide for themselves and understand that risk, of course. And this is why I speak against those things here that I cannot name, but I speak against them. So don't do them, because you cannot fully trust what you see. Who are you? You're just a mere human, just a guy, and you could be deceived, absolutely. So seeing Jesus could have been anything. And that's what I always critiqued when I saw it on YouTube, because you had so many new Christians, newborn Christians, and they're all talking about their experiences with Jesus. They saw something. I remember one guy, he saw the wind just blow the leaves from the trees, and then he understood, oh, it's Jesus, it's Jesus. How? How did you understand that it's Jesus? It was the wind, first and foremost, but even if you want to become spiritual about the whole matter, could be anything, right? Could be Odin. Like, how do we know that this was Jesus now? But he knew it was Jesus. and became a Christian. Of course, he was reading the Bible prior to that, right? He was inhaling the Christian ideology. So therefore, nah, man, I'm not here to tell you, hey, therefore it is Jesus. No, I saw Jesus. I saw a depiction of Jesus. And within that vision, I experienced what I believed to be unconditional love. And that experience then, however, because I had unconditional love for everything, brought me then to veganism. Because I thought that I cannot eat animals anymore because I love them all so much. So therefore, absolutely, could it have been a vision of Satan? Sure could have been. And that misled me then into veganism, absolutely. So yeah, I'm the last one that will tell you, hey, I made that and that experience, and therefore it's absolutely correct and truthful. It could always be a deception, for sure. Thank you so much, bro. Abu Seleman donated 100 SAR. Thank you very much, brother. If Quran says go right and authentic, correct Hadith says go left, which way Muslims should go? If you say right, you're considered kafir, disbeliever, by scholars of Sunni and Shia. Really search it. Hey, I'm very critical of it. That's why I'm learning about it. And as I said, personally, when I read the Quran, I got a very different feeling to what I get when I see Muslims. That's it. Oftentimes then Muslims will say, hey, Islam is perfect, Muslims are not. And I accept that because I know it with Christianity as well, that 99% of Christians do not practice what Christianity preaches. So therefore, no worries, I would understand that argument. But nevertheless, what you are saying is that it's so radical that the Hadiths tell them the exact opposite, and the scholars say, yes, this is correct, and the Quran not. I haven't made that experience. So from what I've seen so far, the scholars do say that if any Hadith goes against the Quran, then it's definitely not authentic, right? That's what I learned so far. But if you have something specifically, then again, please reach out to me via email or so, and you can show me the direct opposition, for example, and I'm willing to learn, for sure. For me personally, as I said, because I'm not born into this religion, I'm learning about it all, but the Quran would be the authority here, and if I read a Hadith and it just doesn't fit together, then I do not really care for that Hadith, to be totally honest. For me personally, the Quran is the measuring stick, so to speak. Okay, thank you very much, bro. Hector Cedre donated $5 again, thank you. For your family and my questions, thank you very much, first and foremost, for my family. And my questions, what do you think about SGI Buddhism and New Age Buddhist movements? Yes, so I already responded basically to Buddhism, but I see that this is 40 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm getting so many chats, guys. I'm responding to the super chats of 40 minutes ago. That's how many I'm getting. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It's absolutely amazing. But keep that in mind. So I'm still catching up with all of them. It's so much. It's absolutely insane. Thank you. So I basically answered your question already. New Age Buddhism, just a quick one here, because I have to get through all of this. New Age Buddhism is essentially taking the fluffy parts of Buddhism and fitting them into your own desires by not committing fully to the religion. And that's what I did. A little bit of veganism, hey, a little bit of compassion, hey, a little bit of meditation. And that's what New Age Buddhism essentially is. Thank you very much, brother. Bell donated 6 Mur, I think that is Malaysian. Like Gabe Tuft, I'm afraid with this generation. If we look back, you always see people being afraid of the coming generation, and they always say that it gets worse and worse and worse, but ultimately then you see a golden age again. So I think we are slowly but surely heading to the worst of society, and then after that, God willing, this society will fall and a new one will rise. Javid, another bro code donor. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it. I hope I answered your questions. Don't be afraid of traveling. It's all good. Miranda says, so I am a woman. The name gave it away. Same generation as you. Hello. I do absolutely get the fact that a man is a man and should act as a head of the family. Cool. We all have our place in this life and this society refuses this. Yes. I feel like an alien because this is so against the mainstream. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So we are on the same page there, and that just shows you that, yeah, you're sane. That's all there is to it. It's really not that special, you know. That's why I don't really vibe with this male empowerment movement, or whatever you want to call it, MGTOW and self-development and blah blah blah, because for me it's just so damn obvious. I do understand that there is a market for it, and I do understand that people kind of need it at the moment, but for me it's just common sense. When did we lose it? It's crazy. I think somewhere in the 80s probably. So yeah, it's totally normal, and in this society you will feel like an alien because they are all lost. It's absolutely fallen. Those people don't know what is right, what is wrong. They don't know what a boy or a girl is. They don't know what is left or right. They don't know anything absolute anymore. They're all compassionate as long as you agree with them. It's absolutely ridiculous. So to feel like an alien in this society is actually a compliment. It means that you're on the right track, because this society is the opposite of normal. Miranda. Thank you very much. Javid, again, another donation. Thank you so much, brother. He says, well said, Bobby. You're not a role. You just are based on certain attributes. Roses are red, sky is blue, water is wet, men are masculine, women are feminine. I've heard you say similar context about alphas. Pickup artists can teach you to be alphas because the real alpha unfortunately cuts off here. It doesn't continue. But yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. In nature, there is no language as we humans have it, as we humans developed it, and animals do not speak like we do. So therefore, in nature, the alpha is crystal clear. So there is an alpha, and then he will be challenged, and then then animals will fight him, and he will defeat them, and therefore he will stay the alpha. And that's what the true alpha is, right? So there is no blah blah, I'm an alpha male, because that's all make-believe. And you can never feel like an alpha if you just read through scripted text and you follow what an alpha is supposed to be. You're only an alpha if you really established your dominance and other men accepted you as an alpha. That's when you're an alpha. That's basically what it is. And of course, on this global scale, who's really an alpha, because we have so many people. So probably the alpha is the president, I guess. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. Like, who is really the alpha of the whole tribe? Nobody anymore. But if we're speaking about the alpha male of certain tribes, certain surroundings, blah blah blah, certain social circles, yeah, sure, we do understand that this would be a man then that established his dominance in a certain way, and this dominance has been accepted by other men. Otherwise you're not an alpha. Otherwise you're just playing make-believe. Just because you read some pickup lines and now you go to a club and you pick up a 6.5 of a woman, and that's not my scaling, but people do. So, okay, congratulations, now you're the alpha. How are you? How are you now the alpha? What did you really accomplish? Did you provide for the people? Did you create a family? Are other men following you? No, it's all make-believe. So, yeah, you're definitely not an alpha. Okay, another one by Javid. Thank you very much again, brother. The real alpha just is such as animals. Here it continues, yeah. They don't explain what is alpha to each other. They just are. I think it was one of your old videos and you said it in a live stream. Don't remember. Yeah, I did one video about it and I repeated that a few times in live streams as well. That's why I could never be identified with this MGTOW thing or self-development thing. It's just so ridiculous. Verdith donated 10 euros again. Thank you so much, bro. He says, re to circumcision. I was an Orthodox Christian. Interesting. But I reverted to Islam. I'm not sure why I got circumcised soon after birth. My father says because it's our tradition. My two brothers also are. Yeah, that's not surprising to me at all, because my wife, she's Christian. Her father is French. And yeah, he's circumcised. Their whole family, they're all circumcised. And she grew up in Senegal. So in Senegal, 90% Muslim. They're all circumcised. And the Christians are circumcised too. So it's not exclusive to Islam and to Judaism. But at the same time, within Christianity, it's not part of the doctrine. So it's not part of the religion itself. But culturally, yes, many people do circumcise. In America, for example, as well, plenty of circumcised people. The way that I understood it is that circumcision is mainstream in America, and most of them are circumcised, and most of them are Christians. So yeah, I understand. I personally am not circumcised. I have absolutely no issues with my foreskin. Should I be graphic here? For the sake of the argument, it's super short. That's how it is. So I've been in locker rooms, and I've seen people with certain conditions down there where I would have said as well, dude, just circumcised. This is absolutely repulsive. What are you doing? But thank God I don't have that issue at all. It's super short. Yeah. Anywho, moving along. LR donated $10. Thank you so much, bro. And says, what do you think of the Dajjal Antichrist who will come out and claim he is God? Can you react to Subor Ahmad's video, Secrets of Dajjal, please? Yeah, let me save that to my playlist, bro. Thank you very much for that. And who will it be? I cannot possibly know. Of course, for me personally, I think that... Again, I do not know, right? I'm not a eschatologist, so I cannot know. It's just my own personal perspective here. It wouldn't be surprising to me if it would come out of the tech sector. So a figure like an Elon Musk, for example, that comes out and now is the first cyborg on Earth, for example, due to Neuralink implants, allegedly. And he's basically like their messiah, claiming to be God. Ray Kurzweil, another transhumanist, he essentially said that we haven't created God yet, that humans have this concept of God, but God doesn't exist yet, and only through the AI we will essentially create God. Truly, this is what he believes, and therefore if any of those tech super mega geeks becomes a cyborg, they of course will believe that they are the first God to walk the earth, right? And therefore... Sure, that could be used as channeling the Antichrist himself. Who knows? Who knows? So I think that it must be a person that is loved by many. And so therefore, I'm not saying it's Elon Musk, right? But I'm saying that some type, some archetype like Elon Musk, hey, I bought Twitter now, and now there's no censorship anymore, and I'm so good. And I'm bringing you to Mars, salvation on Mars, let's leave this damned planet. Something on those lines would make absolute sense to me personally. Yeah, but yet again, we don't know when the end times are. Nobody knows but God, and we certainly do not know who the Antichrist is. I heard stories, allegedly, that he's already here. I don't know that. I cannot know, but that being said, it wouldn't be surprising to me if it would be a tech mega overlord. Apip Kamil donated 159,000 Indonesian rupiah. Thank you so much. How much is that in euros? I think that's $10, right? Something on those lines. Because I remember when I went to Indonesia, thank you very much for the donation, by the way. When I went to Indonesia for the first time and I changed a bunch of hundreds, Australian dollars, and I became a millionaire overnight. I was like, hey, look at this. I'm a millionaire now. Fantastic. I made it. Yeah, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate the generous donation, man. Miranda, again, donated $3. Thank you. I love learning new languages and am deep into Arabic. It definitely helps understanding the message of Islam even more. The hen or the egg? Lol. Will we ever know? I think the Darwinists, they claim that it's the egg, right? Because evolution happens on a cell structure, the way that I understood it, and therefore chickens, they come from dinosaurs, ultimately, right? And therefore it must have been the egg first, because the first chicken, the way that we know it now, came from an egg that before that came from a reptile, and therefore before that it was a dinosaur. And all of that very rational, logical, atheist talk, right? Yeah, so it was first the egg, according to them. But anyways, thank you very much. And yeah, cool. It's really awesome to hear that people learn Arabic. I have a tough time now picking up a bit of Thai. So I think that Arabic will be very, very hard. But I haven't given it a shot yet. So I will definitely try to learn a little bit. At least Surah Al-Fatiha I want to learn. Javid donated again. He says there was a video circulating in the conspiracy circle about a government agent admitting that feminism was created. I think that's Yuri Bezmenov, man. So the government can tax both genders in order to expand. Also, the leader of the first wave feminism admits she was paid by the CIA. Yeah, absolutely. Yuri Bezmenov talked about that. This is actually no secret. It is infiltrated movements that have to establish a certain agenda, be it women paying taxes, dividing family, infiltrating, making the male workforce weak by feeding them soy, etc., etc. Yes, they're all infiltrated movements for sure, and therefore I would never trust those, what do you call them, grassroots movements, right? Yeah, sure. Abdullah Alk donated $7.29. Thank you, bro. How can I send you recommended reaction videos? Simply post in the comment section, bro. I try to read all of those comments. And if that doesn't work, just send me an email. You don't even need to attach a long text. Just send me a video. Say, reaction video, boom, send it to my email. It's in the description box as well. And I should see it and then, God willing, react to it. Thank you so much, bro. Akhlat donated $3. Thank you very much, Akhlat. I can join you in regular video calls, reading each chapter in Quran for free, help with the translation and interpretation so your viewers can get the complete picture, answer your questions about every verse while reading together. That's actually quite interesting. I want to do a video series in which I simply read out every chapter in English. I think that would be pretty amazing, to be totally honest, for people nowadays. Because many Westerners, they're interested in the Quran and Islam, but they simply forgot how to read, ultimately. So they would like to listen to it in audiobook format. And at the same time, yeah, they don't understand Arabic, so it needs to be English. And therefore, I just wanted, without any commentary, at first just read out the surahs by themselves and upload them to this channel here. And therefore, people can listen to them at their own leisure. I believe that would be of great benefit, to be totally honest. But then after that, maybe it would be a fantastic extension of it if we can have the Arabic and then the explanation to that. So that would be actually really cool. Akhlat, write me an email as well, and then, God willing, we can hook something up for the future, for sure. So not now, immediately, but in the near future, that would be great. So definitely write me on Telegram or on email, and we can get to it. Thank you. I'm losing my voice here, man. Armory Poi donated, I think that's Qatar, 18. Thank you very much for the generous donation. I appreciate it. Javid donated again. Thank you very much, Javid. The price discrepancy was way more affordable on the train. First class is like $200 more, and trains seem way cheaper than flights. Yeah, of course. Dude, you had me rolling when you said you watched business class flights on YouTube like a bum. Yeah, bro, that's literally what I did, like a bum, just watching them on YouTube and dreaming of my potential future. So, God willing, at some point I will fly only business class. But as for right now, I have to do what I can afford. Yeah, $200 more or so, yeah, for sure. But the regular ticket is just $50. So, yeah, man. Bum Bobby. I'm chipping out. Nidal donated... Thai bot. That's so cool, Nidal. 180 Thai bot. Thank you very much, bro. Appreciate that. That's so cool, man. I have Thai viewers here. That's awesome. Another chat here. 180 Thai bot. That's really so cool, man. Because, yeah, I just went to 7-Eleven here and bought a drink for 180 baht. That's cool, man. Awesome. I forgot to type the message, lol. I'm Muslim from Germany living in Samui, Thailand. Ah, that's awesome, man. A friend of mine is in Samui. Beautiful. I sent you an email. Let's hang out. Hey, God willing, man, at the moment I can't travel because my passport is in the visa office. And by the way, you don't have to speak English with me. I speak German as well. Ich kann auch Deutsch reden. Nidal ist gar kein Problem. Ich habe auch einen Freund aus Deutschland, der Nidal heißt. Nidal war eine richtige Partykanone damals. Yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, I'm gonna double check, man. I get so many emails. Let me double check and let's hang out. At the moment, as I said, I cannot travel, but I will be in Samui, God willing. If I get my passport back in 2-3 weeks, I want to go over there with my whole family and I have a buddy of mine there. At least for coffee, we should sit down, for sure. And with coffee, I mean any type of drink. Don't get mad carnivores. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna check the email. Cool. Thank you. Verlith again donated 10 euros. Thank you very much, bro. Please do a reaction video of Hamza Yusuf Come Back to All channel Blue Piece. This was the last video I needed to revert. I was self-decaying in guilt, sin and shame. The video's about 5 minutes. Okay, let me save that as well. 1 second. Hamza Yusuf. I like most of his talks, I have to say. He's very relatable. But people call him Kafir as well, right? So you never know. Come Back to All channel Blue Piece. Okay. Come back to Allah, it says, not come back to all. That makes sense. Come back to Allah. Hamza Yusuf, 5 minute 14. Here it is. Okay. Noted. And here we go. Save to my reaction list as well. Thank you very much, bro. Appreciate it. Verlith. Another one by Javid. Guys, if you want Bobby to react to a video, send it to him along with a donation. Yeah, absolutely, guys. So I cannot possibly go through the chat. I mean, that's not me only fishing for donations here, but you saw that. I've been reacting to super chats here from 1 hour ago. This is how many we got. So yes, if you want me to react to something via super chat is the way to go. Thank you so much. And some man donated $1. Thank you very much. The Islam say Jesus is prophet, not son of God. What is your opinion about it? Yeah, I agree. I agree that Jesus is a prophet. But from the Christian perspective, prophet sounds as if we are diminishing something. Meanwhile, being a prophet is the highest that you can be as a human, essentially. So therefore, yeah, what should I say? Being a prophet is great. Son of God, plenty of people have been called Son of God within the Old Testament as well. Son of God for me is a metaphor essentially for being in communion with God. Somebody that follows God's will. Muslims will call that a Muslim, ultimately. And I don't believe in a literal sense of a son of God. Like Hercules, the son of Zeus, etc., etc. So no, I don't believe that Jesus is the son of God in that sense. I believe that he is a prophet. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeshua, the King, donated $2. Thoughts on Allah allowing adultery. And he posts a quote of Quran 4:24. Okay, let me just try to look that up. Again, I'm not an Islamic scholar. Let me see what he thinks. Oh, wait a second. Are we still on? My internet is kind of bugging. 1 second. Let me just double check, guys. Am I still online here? 1 second. Yeah, seems to be on. Okay. Yeah, we have some issues here with the internet. It doesn't show, maybe it shouldn't show, I don't know. Let me double check like so. Okay, so we are on Quran.com. Let me try to show this to you guys, like so. 1 second. Yeah, sweet. Inception! Matrix! Woo! Okay. So this is what the super chat says. What Allah claims about adultery. Okay, this Quran.com, I don't know which Quran this is. I don't know if this translation is correct. Okay, so please guys, bear with me. I'm just reading out what this page says and what the super chat has sent. Also forbidden are married women except female captives in your possession. This is Allah's commandment to you. Lawful to you are all beyond these, as long as you seek them with your wealth in a legal marriage, not in fornication. Give those you have consummated marriage with their due dowries. It is permissible to be mutually gracious regarding the said dowry. Surely Allah is all-knowing, all-wise. So, yeah, the guy said this about adultery, and here it clearly says not in fornication and females in captive. You always have to see it in relation, and that's not me justifying something, but we are so brainwashed nowadays that we can't even accept at all that there used to be, and there still are, wars, right? So, and if there was a war, and you killed a soldier, and now the woman is left with no husband, and through that situation is possibly forced into prostitution. So what should that woman do? So then, in this case, you can marry her and not fornicate with her. So where is the adultery here? Can you please tell me this? There's always this anti-Islamic context that I've been brainwashed with. And now you look it up yourself and you read a little bit into it and you understand what it actually means. And then you see that's all BS coming from the anti-Islamics. So it's crazy, man. Yeah, that's my answer to that. I don't see any adultery there. And you don't see any adultery there either. Because ultimately you see that it's about marriage. So what kind of adultery are we speaking about? Okay, Jared, thank you very much for the $1 donation. Says, I am surprised you haven't tried business class at least once yet during all your travels. Lol, I just want to be comfortable in case I get nervous. I'm flying Polish Airlines from Miami. Have you flown this airline? No, I've never flown Polish Airlines. Man, okay, I'm going to tell you one thing. I am extremely afraid of flying, believe it or not. I'm such a peasant that I cannot understand how those heavy metal objects can simply take off and then fly. For me, that's the craziest thing ever. Yeah, and I've taken hundreds of flights, and to this very day, in 99% of cases, I'm still scared. And when I'm standing at the airport, I'm telling myself, this one will crash, and you shouldn't go in. So yeah, I have a very loud voice, a very loud fight or flight response basically to flying. See, fight or flight, that's where it comes from. Yeah, that being said, I still fly. So yeah, don't worry about it, man. I mean, I guess in the future, if I take a long flight, I'm gonna take Qatar Airways or Emirates because they have a zero crash history, so that's cool. I have no idea about Polish airlines, but nowadays, if something should happen on that day, it will happen anyways. That's how I see it nowadays. So I just get into the airplane and travel. That's basically what it is. But business class, nah, man. Especially not when I was a backpacker. I could never afford business class. Now, maybe I could afford it, but it would be a big bump in my budget. So I definitely wouldn't do it. I always have to budget everything. Doesn't make sense. But yeah, that being said, don't worry about it. As long as I have the first class, you should be fine. Andrian donated $3, thank you very much, and says, can you bring your family to react for the next daily video? Next daily video? What do you mean? So for the next video that I react to, bring my whole family and we all react together? Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I keep them away from YouTube, so I never show my son. I did a video on what he eats, because I think that was, yeah, very educational, because I give him raw meat and stuff like that as well. But I didn't show his face, and I'm not going to do that. So I don't want to show my family on YouTube, and neither my wife. There's still some videos up, I believe, from back in the day, when we were younger, and we talked about not being vegan anymore. I think those are still up, but there are no new videos with my wife, and yeah, I'm not planning on having her back on the channel anytime soon. I'm just doing my own thing. That's basically it. Alright, anyways guys, let me just double check how long are we streaming. I lost track of time and it doesn't show the timing here for whatever reason. Ah, here it is. 2 hours and 37 minutes. Wow, no wonder, man. No wonder. And this still, even though I'm somewhat sick. Not bad. Okay. Let me double check. Alright, guys, fair warning, as always, thank you so much for your donations. Really, it was absolutely crazy. There we have another one. From now on, exactly, 5 more minutes, so that would be 43, exactly. 5 more minutes from now on. If you want to donate now, do it now. After that, I am off, I'm gone, I'm gonna shut it down. It has been long enough as it is. And I will have to catch some sleep, hang out with my wifey, and my sister is here as well. She visits at the moment, so I'll spend some family time, and then it's off to sleep, because my little son will wake me up at 7 again, and I'm losing precious sleep. I really need that, man. So anyways, that being said, 5 more minutes, guys, from now on. If you want to donate, donate now. And then I'm going to turn off the stream. Thank you very much. Teşekkürler. Appreciate it. Gevallen. Okay, we have another one by Javid. Thank you so much, Javid. Purchasing this train ticket seems like it has to be days in advance. So God forbid, what do you do if you miss your train when you're supposed to switch trains and make it to the airport at a certain day and time, or else you miss my expensive BCLS flight? Yeah, for that, I mean, if that really happens, okay, then it happened. Then you cannot do anything about it. But that being said, the connections usually are so extremely easy, yet again. So this is not the 70s, this is not the 80s. This is 2022, and the connections are so easy to catch. I never had any issues catching connections. Only one time, and that was due to our own stupidity, basically. Me and my then girlfriend, we were chilling in a Starbucks waiting for our flight, and then we left, and she forgot her suitcase in the Starbucks, went back to the Starbucks, and then bombs, the gate shut down and we couldn't enter anymore. We tried everything, it didn't work. Or one time my passport was full with stamps and they didn't want to let me leave the country, so I was stuck in Vietnam. It was impossible to leave because of that, so I missed my flight as well. So what you want to get is a travel insurance, basically, in case such a thing happens, so you can postpone the flight. Very, very simple. Get a travel insurance and that's it. And get the insurance on the page where you actually book the flight. That's the most important thing. And then if you, by any chance, miss the connection, then at least you can get another flight for free. You just pay for the booking difference, and that's basically it. That's the most important thing. Other than that, I wouldn't worry, because you're probably going to get the connection either way. Okay, bro. I see you're very worried, man. Bro, don't be worried, man. You're flying first class. You don't have to be worried. Everything is going good with you. First class here. Rich boy. Flying business class. Don't worry about it, man. It's all good. Okay. Abdulaziz donated $3. Thank you so much, Abdulaziz. Appreciate it, brother. Akhlat Ibrahim donated 20 Egyptian. I don't know exactly what it is. With a little love heart. Thank you so much. Much love back, bro. Yeshua the King donated $5. Thank you very much again, Yeshua. The verses say all married women are forbidden except read Tafsir Ibn Khatir on Quran. The husbands were still alive. Quran, etc., etc. Yeah, I know that Ibn Kathir is quoted quite a bit for the explanation of the Quran, but at the same time we have different scholars that see it differently. So this is just, again, my perspective. I am not a scholar. I am not here to undermine certain people's authorities, not at all. So if people want to follow the description of Ibn Kathir, that's fine with me. But if I want to follow another explanation, that is up to me as well, right? So therefore, yeah, I don't have any issues with that. And yet again, that is an explanation of a man. So if you want to follow that explanation of the man, that's up to you. Javid donated $1 again, bro. What is said in my last chat is my main concern. Bobby, please help, lol. On another note, you mentioned don't get mad carnivores, lol, but aren't carnies allowed to drink vodka, pure alcohol, no sugar type liquor? Yeah, well, real carnivores don't drink alcohol, of course, and they would abstain from everything other than meat, ultimately. But yeah, of course, I know carnivores that drink alcohol and that do drink coffee as well, even though coffee is most certainly a plant, right? But yeah, about the last chat, as I said, bro, you just have to get an insurance, a deal for your flight, so you can always rebook. In my case, it was called a flexi ticket. And man, I had to rebook my flight ticket from Germany to Thailand 3 times. 3 times. And so thank God I had the flexi ticket. And I could always change that flight. That's the only thing you have to do, really. Because what's the worst thing you can happen? Okay, you arrive at the airport, you missed your flight, okay, big deal. Go to a restaurant and take another flight, just use the flexi ticket and get another flight. That's literally it. It's really easy, not a big deal. Abdullah Alk donated $7.29, thank you, brother. Says, check out the Muslim Lantern channel. I heard about it. I think it's Street Dawah, right? Yeah, I've seen a few videos, I believe. Thank you very much. I might do some reaction to it, God willing. Okay, Yeshua continues with his evangelism. He says, check out Deuteronomy. Okay, let's do it. It's a super chat. It's a super chat. Guys, if you support the channel through super chat, I feel obligated to react to it. So, 1 second. Deuteronomy. So even though I'm not a fan now of Christian evangelism in that sense, sure, no worries, Yeshua the King. If it's on your heart, bro, we'll check it out. 24:1. Let me see. Okay. Here we go. I said 5 more minutes, but, well, this will take a bit longer. Deuteronomy 24:1, I hope this is what you're talking about, says, suppose a man marries a woman, but she does not please him. Having discovered something wrong with her, he writes a document of divorce, hands it to her, and sends her away from his house. Okay? I mean, if you marry a woman and you, especially in a context back in the day, especially where you didn't have sex prior to marriage and she's covered, and now you see something, let's say there's something seriously wrong with her genitals, for the sake of argument, right? Some deformity maybe, and that doesn't please you. So I think that you should be able to divorce. I mean, just think about it, right? Imagine you undress her and she's absolutely deformed downstairs, and you know she can't provide you children, for example. What are you supposed to do? You get married to get kids, right? So I don't think there's anything wrong with Deuteronomy there, if you ask me. And now he says we should check out Quran 2:30. Okay, Quran 2:30. Ah, the cow, Al-Baqarah. I just read it today, actually. Interesting. I was just reading Baqarah today. So here we go. So if a husband divorces his wife 3 times, then it is not lawful for him to remarry her until after she has married another man and then is divorced. Then it is permissible for them to reunite as long as they feel they are able to maintain the limits of Allah. So this is not Al-Baqarah, at least not the way that I read it. Let me see. Because the Al-Baqarah that I read was actually very different. I just read it this morning, so I would remember. Can translations really differ that much? Let me just double check. 1 second, I have it here. I'm gonna read it out in a second. Just give me a second, guys. It's getting late, man. So here we are. Okay. And this is the one. Nope, nope, nope. Just a second. This will take some time. Here we are. Okay. The clear Quran I'm having here. I'm going to read out of the clear Quran just as a contrast. Thank you very much again for the donations. 1 sec. Here we are, here we are. Al-Baqarah is a bit longer, that's why, but we have to make it till 23 then, I guess, right? Ah, that's why, okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Can't really find it though. 230, that's why. Okay, be that as may, probably that's why. But that being said, I really don't know exactly what to tell you about this. So this is some sort of lawmaking, right, in that sense, which would be considered fiqh, the way that I know fiqh, and which is Islamic jurisprudence. So if a husband divorces his wife 3 times, then it's not lawful for him to remarry her. Yeah, okay, so if they got 3 attempts of getting back to marriage, essentially, and they did it 3 times, then they're not allowed to marry anymore. And if she has married another man and then is divorced, then kind of the slate is clean again, and then they can try again to reunite. Okay, fair enough. So for me, this is just a warning about a very dysfunctional marriage. I mean, if you divorce 3 times, there should be definitely a hold on this, and all it says here essentially is if she then married another one and after that you still want to give it a go, okay, after that you can try it one more time. So I don't really understand what the big deal is, truly. I don't understand how this would be a matter of faith either. It's just an explanation of what happens when people, want to divorce. So it's essentially a guideline for people to know what to do when it comes down to matters of divorce and marriage. What's the big deal? I don't understand. Anyways, thank you very much for the donation, nevertheless. Maybe next time you can tell us what your issue with it is. I think that makes sense. Okay. Let's continue. Fahmi donated 10,000 Indonesian rupiah. Thank you very much. Terima kasih. I appreciate it, bro. Miranda, good to see you again. Donated $1, thank you. Are you thinking of doing any reaction videos with your spouse? Yeah, as I just said, not really. We did that. We reacted to Lion King back in the day because it was such a propaganda piece, and to anti-vegan content a little bit. But no, at the moment I'm just doing it by myself. So no attempts there at all. Jenoch through the letterbox. Ah, good to see you, brother. My new Patreon supporter here, and soon to be maybe more. We will see. We'll see. You'll stay updated here on this channel. We'll see how that goes. Sorry I'm late, Bobby says. No worries, brother. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we're gonna be in touch, man. Let's discuss further. Thank you. Miranda donated again, thank you, says, what was your job before YouTube? What did you study or do? So I'm a learned media design assistant, essentially. So that's not a big deal. It's just, you know a little bit about everything within media. A jack of all trades, if you will, but not a master in any. So you know a bit of video editing, that helped here. You know a bit of Photoshop. You know a bit of programming, but I don't know anything, to be totally honest. And so, yeah, that's what I learned when I was 17 years old. So from 17 till 20, I learned that. And that's all I studied, essentially. Other than that, I did a bunch of different jobs. Mainly it was laboring, man. So I did all kinds of transport jobs. I was a UPS driver, a DHL driver, actually. DHL driver. I was working on construction sites quite a bit in Australia. That was my latest endeavor. I worked with the Scouts in Thailand even. I worked with children. I was a Scout master. That was cool. That was one of my favorite jobs, essentially. I worked as a patient transporter within German hospitals. I worked in restaurants. Yeah, I did pretty much everything. So all kinds of jobs. And my last job was for a telecommunication company. That was in Portugal, and that was essentially when my son got born. Yeah, just when my son was born, that's when I quit with work and started focusing on YouTube totally. And at the moment I'm just doing YouTube, and I thank God every single day that I'm able to do this, because it's absolutely amazing. Especially lately. The channel is growing. On that note, thank you so much, guys. We reached over 90k subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel so we can reach 100k very, very soon. At the moment, I truly feed my whole family off YouTube, and it has been amazing. I really love it. There was a time where I thought I'm just going to quit YouTube. On that note, I just saw Pugman donated $100. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, brother. And I'm going to tell you guys here that it was Pugman single-handedly that made me continue with YouTube. It's absolutely no joke. So I was still working for this telecommunication company in Portugal, so 1.5 years ago roughly now, and I was miserable doing that, but nevertheless I was becoming a dad, so I stuck with it. I said, I need this job, I need to provide for the family, I'm gonna keep on working. I was doing jiu-jitsu every single day, lifting weights, not sleeping, being absolutely smashed. And then I said, okay, man, I'm just going to keep on working and I'm going to stop YouTube now for indefinitely, essentially. And just when I stopped YouTube, this is when Pugman started reaching out to me and he started essentially donating offline. I wasn't even doing YouTube and he was just sending donations my way. And I couldn't believe it, honestly. So it was absolutely mind-blowing to me. Very, very generous donations. And I just thought, wow, this is crazy. So I'm just a dude on YouTube, and now I'm not even doing YouTube. And this guy is sending me donations because he appreciates my work, apparently. And that was extremely humbling and just mind-blowing to me. And it put things into perspective. And I said to myself, man, what are you even doing here, right? So you're getting donations for just working on a job that you don't love, and you're not working on your YouTube. What's the point, right? So yeah, I couldn't let that sit. So it's single-handedly, I have to say, not that I don't appreciate all the support of the restly subscribers, but it was just so mind-boggling to me. It was such a statement, ultimately, to get donations for not even doing YouTube. It was crazy. And yeah, when I saw that apparently my channel had meaning to somebody, and this is when I said to myself, okay, I'm just gonna get back to the grind, keep on pumping out videos. And this is exactly when I started reading the Quran as well. So I said, I have to read the Quran because I wasn't content with my faith any longer. And just all came together, and one thing after the other, one thing after the other, kept on working. And now I'm at a place where I upload 5 videos per week. I know for some that's still little. I know some people still want to see more videos. I get it. But for me, 5 videos per week is a lot, because back in the day I used to upload 1 video per week maybe, and the channel still kept on growing despite that. But yeah, since I'm doing 5 videos per week, it really became a job. It's a 5 days job, so to speak, even though I'm working 7 days a week. But yeah, that being said, it's absolutely amazing, it's absolutely gratifying, and I thank you all. Pugman, again, brother, from the bottom of my heart. It's absolutely amazing what you've done to this channel, what you've done for me and my family, but everybody here that is supporting is absolutely unbelievable. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to do this. It's really the case. Without you, I couldn't do this, because YouTube itself, I mean, even YouTube itself is due to you guys watching the content, right? So even if I get AdSense revenue, etc., it's just through you guys. And yeah, thank God for that. Thank you for such a support over the years. Thank you. Okay. Now, Pug asks as well, what circumcision style are you getting? Thank you very much. Yeah, in the best case scenario, not any. And as far as I know, it's not mandatory for a convert to snip it off. Because, yeah, that's something that you do when you're young anyways. And I think if you become a convert, then it's about submitting your will to God and accepting one God and its prophets, and not necessarily snipping it off. So I didn't even know that there are styles. If there are any styles, then please just a millimeter, because I'm so happy with my skin the way that it is. It's really very, very short already. But yeah, thanks for that, Pugman. Thank you very much, bro. Okay. And thanks again, Miranda. I appreciate it. Yeshoda King donated again. Keep reading. The point is about remarriage law. Yeah, I kept on reading, and again, I don't find anything strange with that. It always has its place, always a certain time frame. I mean, if I look at the West and nobody gets married and they all have sex with a billion of guys, here the ladies, for example, when they're 20, they already had sex with at least 10 dudes. Okay, so that is not weird, that is not strange. So we should be talking about remarriage. That is somehow weirder. Okay. Mr. Khan donated €5. Thank you very much, Mr. Khan. He says, you touched a bit about circumcision and the fitra. It is important to note that when it comes down to ibadah, worship, we do not apply logic. We simply submit. Yeah, exactly. That's the conflict that I'm having, essentially. Because when we're talking about Trinity, and the Christians say, hey, this is supra-logical, this is not about logic anymore, this is how God has revealed himself to us, then the Muslims will say, yeah, well, dude, that's totally illogical, irrational, why would you believe that, right? But when it comes down to ibadah or worship, and then we say, okay, we don't accept logic here, we simply submit, you see how that point can be switched then, and then the Christians would say, okay, why not logic here, right? So that is something that I'm battling myself with. That's something that I'm learning about. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now. It's just being completely honest, man. That's how I see it. Catherine P. donated £2. Thank you so much, Catherine. Appreciate it. Easy G King donated $2. What's your preference, steak tartare or sashimi? I would have to go with sashimi, for sure. Yeah. There was a time where I preferred steak tartare, but since France, man, believe it or not, I thought I'm going to go to France and just enjoy all the red meat in the world. But getting to France, I don't know why, I simply cannot really see red meat anymore. I'm kind of appalled by it for whatever weird reason. I'm still eating it on a daily basis, but I just don't love it anymore. But sashimi, on the other hand, is still great. I love sashimi. Okay. Miranda, again, hi. Donated $1, thank you very much. I've been following you since you became an anti-vegan. Wow, that's crazy. Now you're opening up your channel to so much new content. I've never thought in a million years you would get interested in Islam. Yeah, you and me both. I would have never thought that I would get interested in Islam. I was totally opposed to it. And as I said so many times, I hated it with a vengeance. Guys, on that note, I'm going to expand on your question, Miranda. I already extended now again for 10 more minutes. Actually, 20 more minutes. And I just want to extend for 5 more minutes. So, again, 5-minute warning. I'm going to tune out in 5 more minutes. So if you want to support, if you want to donate, do it now. And in 5 more minutes, I shall be gone. We will see. We'll see. So, yeah, as I was saying, I was the last one to think I would be interested in it. Dude, I was the last one that would think I would be sympathetic towards Islam. Okay? I thought that Islam is my sworn enemy. And once I found back to Christianity and really got into orthodoxy, I got confirmed in my hatred towards Islam. And I thought, okay, now I'm the Christian that is fighting Islam ultimately. So yeah, I was the last one on my own list that would get interested in Islam. It's absolutely crazy to me, still to this very day, I have to say. And thank you so much for the ongoing support. It's extremely interesting to see who started following back in the day. I mean, some people really started following at raw veganism, and they are still here. There's, of course, very, very little people that are still here. But nevertheless, interesting to see how the topics shift here on the channel and how people keep on tagging along and changing their perspective as well. And some people simply leave and say, okay, that's not for me. Cool as well, no worries. But yeah, that's very interesting that we both went through the anti-vegan thing and now through Islam. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, anyways. So 4 more minutes, guys, and then we're gonna tune out. I see I'm getting plenty of questions here as well, but all of them have been answered already. Andrew Tate has been answered as well. Am I jabbed? No. Thank you. No thanks. Okay. Anyways, okay, I'm going to try to read out a few in the chat now. That's what I always try to do in the last 3 to 5 minutes. And then I'm going to tune out. Do you speak Albanian? No, I don't. And we have another super chat. Back to the super chats. Javid Benscombe, yet again. Thank you so much, brother. $10. Thank you, Pugman. Let's get Bobby on a business class seat. Bobby, I did purchase a travel insurance only for the return flight ticket. My other concern is I have a very important client to attend on December the 1st. I have to be back home by then. Hey, God willing, man, God will bring you back. That being said, it's great. Okay, you have a return ticket insurance. Again, like, you're gonna be back, man, either way. So even if you get a flight that's a few hours later, if that happens, then you should be fine. And yeah, let's get me on a business class seat at least once in my lifetime. God willing, man, God willing. That would be awesome. Especially with a kid, I have to say, man. So with a kid, business class would be fantastic because then he could actually lay down and sleep. Like this, we were carrying him all the time between the seats. But hey, all good, man. Not here to complain. We still made it Thank God we're here in Thailand now. 14-hour flight. Yay! Economy rocks. I love it. Yeah, who knows, man. One day maybe. But anyways, thank you very much for the donation, brother. I really appreciate it. And thank you again, Pugman, for sure. And all the best. I'm not worried about you finding back. Because, as I said, I've been traveling the world. It's not a big deal. You already have everything organized. You're going to be fine. You're going to be just fine, bro. Rina Neziri. Hey, Bobby. I'm interested to know if me, who was a law of attraction believer, mostly on all New Age practices, and willing to repent sincerely, will God forgive me? 100%. 100% He will. That's exactly what God is. Eternally merciful, right? So yeah, God will forgive you. If you truly repent and you let go of your ways, God will absolutely forgive you right away. So I don't doubt that any second. The only one that doesn't forgive you is yourself. So yeah, pray for forgiveness, ask God for forgiveness. When God really forgives you, you will forgive yourself as well. It's that easy. All good. Miranda donated again. Thank you very much, Miranda. I kept following because I guess we share common values. I am a Muslima, by the way, and Miranda is just a pseudonym. Ah, okay, I didn't know that. I thought that you just reverted or that you're looking into Islam. That's interesting as well, because Miranda is not an Islamic name, obviously. I picture a blonde woman when I think about Miranda. But nevertheless, yeah, that's very interesting, because I had Muslim followers, and now looking back, I have to cringe, because they reached out to me via Instagram mainly back then, I remember, and in the comment section too. And I would just totally evangelize, right? And tell them how they are led by Satan himself and they don't accept Christ as their Lord and Savior, etc., etc. So yeah, I was very anti-Islamic and still posting anti-Islamic content on Instagram, etc., etc. So very cringy, but thanks for tagging along. I appreciate it, for sure. Thank you very much. Lukman Rocco says, Bobby, I reverted to Islam and got circumcised at the age of 27. Alhamdulillah, no issues, and it's a lot better. Hey, good for you, man. As I said, again, getting into the details here, my skin is very, very short, as is. Super short. It doesn't hang over the tip, so it's very short. I don't know what I should circumcise there. I don't see a point in it. I never had issues. And I'm happy with it, so I know that's not mandatory necessarily, so I guess I'm just gonna leave it. And we'll see. But happy for you. Hey, if you like it better, even better. Awesome. Okay, let me just take a sip of water, and then slowly but surely, we're over 3 hours, guys. Imagine being me here, 3 hours, running my mouth. I will need a break at some point. Thanks for your answer, Bobby. No worries. Do you see yourself as a Christian? Yeah, I answered this question 5 times during the live stream. Another super chat by Catherine P. Hey Catherine, good to see you. Hi Bobby, you mentioned... Peep. You knew the entities were worshipping God. How could you tell? By the way, was it a feeling? I found that interesting. Okay, so again, due to this platform here, we have to use certain terminology and we have to show you this thing here one more time. Okay. All right. So the way that I understood, again, I'm not saying this is truth, whatever, this is my experience, my spiritual experience. The way that I saw that those entities were worshipping God in the sense or not was essentially that the ones that were worshipping God, how do you put this into words? They were directly connected to the light of God. Okay? So they were not in the darkness. They were not separate. They were not in the false state of separateness. That would be the only description I can find. They were not deluded in the separation of their world. So the way that we believe that we are just those little entities here, totally separated from everything, that's essentially a sign of not being connected to God. And the entities that were worshipping God, they were absolutely aware, and they were in that awareness that God exists. So we as humans, we can fall away from that knowingness, if you will, and then we find ourselves debating like an atheist. Do you think he exists? Can you show me certain proof? Scientific evidence, probably, about the existence of God, etc., etc. And those entities, they just felt God. They were connected directly to the light source of God. And therefore, there was no debate about God. They simply followed God's will because they were directly connected to it. And there was no doubt. So they could access that light. They were not so disconnected like some of our fellow people here to not understand that there is a God. And that's how I saw it. So it was crystal clear, essentially. There was no dispute because they directly were flooded with the light of God. Yeah. That's basically the description I can give. And guys, on that note, I'm really looking for a platform on which I can stream. I think it should be possible for my YouTube viewers to get over, simply for the live streams, to another platform. Because then I don't have to censor myself all the time. It's really annoying here. You can't even speak about things that YouTube itself allows to speak about. It only depends who talks about those things, right? So if I talk about those things, then I get deleted. And that's why I cannot talk about them in depth. Again, this is not for promotion at all. I actually want to warn about it, but I can't even do that. But if you looked at, for example, channels like Psyched Substance, he can do it. No worries. I cannot. I don't know why that is, but it is what it is, and therefore I have to censor myself. Okay. Javid, thanks again, brother. He says, I relate to how Pugman motivated you to escape the rat race. I'm humbled by my clients donating to me as well. All I do is drive and talk as you are on video, and some clients take good care of me. I'm humbled and paid forward, of course. That's absolutely amazing, man. I know how it feels like, and you know how it feels like. It's the best feeling. Because, I mean, no matter how good you work in a regular job, like usually in that rat race, and then you might get a promotion, okay? But this year, you get direct input from your viewers. It's absolutely amazing. I guess selling certain vegetables maybe on a food market could be as direct as well, maybe even more direct. But yeah, it's so gratifying, it's insane, because you do content, and this is why I hate when people say, oh, you just do it for the clicks. Yeah, duh, dude, of course you want clicks, because that means more people consume your content. That's amazing, because that means more people actually appreciate your content. Otherwise, they wouldn't be consuming it, right? And yeah, anyways. That's why it is absolutely amazing for me, especially over the years, man. I've been on YouTube for 5 years, and now finally it really shows. The community is growing on a daily basis. I really appreciate it because I know this will end at some point as well. But at the moment, we are in this golden period, and God willing, it will continue. If not, then that is God's will too, but it's absolutely amazing. I really love it. And yeah, Pugman was really the missing link in the chain, I really have to say. He was that domino piece that set it all in motion. So thank you so much again, Pugman. And thank you too, brother. You're here every single Sunday, man. Supporting is absolutely amazing. So thank you really from the bottom of my heart, man. Thank you, guys. Love you. Miranda says, not blonde for sure, born and raised Muslima. That's absolutely awesome, even though we do have blonde Muslimas as well. Bosnians, for example, or Russians. But yeah, that being said, when I hear Miranda, that's what I think about. But anyways, thank you very much for the donation and the clarification. Okay, buffering. Is it? Let me see, is it lagging? Let me double check. Just 1 second, guys, let me double check. If it's still running. Now seems fine. Okay. Sweet. Alright, guys. But it seems we are through all the super chats. And I gave you a fair warning. And I want to thank you one more time. Thank you so much for the generous donations. This was absolutely phenomenal support today. I hope you enjoyed it as well. As I said, I'm again under the weather, or under whatever they're spraying at the moment. Monkeypox. So, thank you very much for your support, guys. One last super chat. I surpassed Pugman and I'm a moderator now. Haha. Hey, honestly, we should set Pugman up as a moderator as well. I can't believe that I never did that. Pugman, you're not a moderator. So if Pugman is still here, bro, do me a favor and just write in the chat. And then I will set you up as a moderator as well. Hey, Jivit, I know, it hurts. You surpassed him, but credit where credit is due. We have to put Pugman as a moderator as well, I would say. So Pugman, if you're still online, then just write in the chat box, because like that I can click on those 3 dots. Ah, he is a moderator, of course. See, I can't believe it. Pugman, not a moderator. All good. Thank you very much, Pugman. So we already set him as a moderator. He is the OG. He is. Thank you so much, guys, from the bottom of my heart. Yet again, we've done a live stream of 3 hours and 15 minutes. God willing, at some point, I will be able to get an office here. I already checked for office places. Actually, very, very cheap. So roughly 100, 150 euros, dollars, whatever, per month. And I could get my own little office box, my little coffin apartment. And from there, I could work even more and be a bit more vocal, because my little one is sleeping. So yeah, God willing, we will accomplish that soon. We will see. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. Tomorrow is Monday. God willing, we will have a new video up. And throughout the week, again, 5 videos is what I'm aiming for. Possibly even more if there is interest. If not, we'll see. Then a little bit less. Either way, thank you so much for today. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. Don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We try to reach 100k now pretty soon. We're at 91k as for right now. Thank you so much for that as well. Share the videos if you can. And if you want to support via Patreon, for example, and other means as well, all in the description box below. Thank you so much, guys. All right, now I need food and some relaxation. Thank you so much, guys. As always, may God bless you all. Much love and peace.